What is going on, Casually FC? Welcome to the call-in show where you guys get to come on to the show in 15 minutes and have your say about the topic we're talking about or anything that's on your mind regarding Chelsea. I am accompanied here by the starting panel of Ahmed, Real Chris, and Oliver. I will say that when it comes to people calling in, we can only have at most 10 people at a time. And it does get a little hectic. I ideally wanted to just be around 8. But if you come in, you will probably be the first one rotated out. So just because you come in doesn't mean you get to stay. We'll start rotating people as the rooms start to fill up. We'll see, just keep trying if the room does fill up. But ladies and gents, give us 15 minutes on the topic just to start off the conversation, and we'll start letting you guys in. But big up to everyone in the chat. Hopefully you guys have been enjoying some time off of Chelsea, but we're here to remind you of Chelsea. We're here to have some difficult discussions on a few things regarding Poch and Chelsea. But before we go ahead and start, as always, guys, smash up the like buttons. It does help out the channel with the algorithm on YouTube. Be sure to subscribe if you haven't done so already. About 60% of you that do watch the channel haven't subscribed yet, which blows my mind considering you keep coming back, you keep watching the content. You might as well subscribe so that it's straight up on your feed, on your home feed. As soon as there's a new episode or a new live stream that's up, it'll be right there for you to watch whenever you're ready. So just hit the subscribe and it helps out with that. Also, be sure to hit the bell notification so you are notified whenever we do go live. If your notifications are on, be sure to check out the links in the description for everyone's content, including my Discord, the Casually Chelsea Discord, the Twitter, as well as my YouTube channel, Ahmed's YouTube channel, Sarcasm City, everyone else's Twitter, and all that stuff down there as well. So check that out. Leave a comment down below. Let us know what you guys think of anything that we talk about, anything that you thought we left out, any thoughts that you may have that differ from our own. I do read them on my spare time and do respond sometimes. So go ahead and check out the comments, and as always, guys, check out the memberships and super chats, as those will always sway the topic. And any membership starting at 99p, all that fun stuff is always welcome. It does help out the channel tremendously. But big up to everyone who is already here, and smash up those like buttons on your way in, just like wiping your feet at the door. But I guess, guys, there's only really one thing to talk about, and one thing only, and it's what's been going on with Chelsea, really. So, as you guys probably know, unless you are not paying attention to Chelsea, we lost to Nottingham Forest, which is supposed to be a winnable game. We've only acquired 4 points out of our first 4 games. That being Liverpool, West Ham, Luton Town, and Nottingham Forest, which is kind of embarrassing considering the team we have, the amount of money that has been spent on contracts as a total in the last 3 years since the new ownership has come in. Sure, last year was a bit of a one-off, we would like to say, a bit of an off season, but we're not expecting that this season. It seems that we have got rid of a lot of the dead wood that was in this team. And so now it's time to move forward. We've established pretty much a brand spanking new team. Lots of great players, lots of big signings, and we're just not getting the results that we want, which is very unfortunate. And what's also kind of, having the Chelsea fans feel a little bit, I guess, troubled is the fact that we have Poch that was saying one thing in the preseason and now in the latest press conference asking for time and patience in the whole process. So it's very contradictory. It's leaving Chelsea fans, I'm sure, pretty confused, pretty betrayed in a sense. And I get it. Obviously, it's only 4 games. We have to wait and give it time. But I mean, let me not continue on about this. Oliver, you've been a little busy, so I want to give you a chance to really have your piece and not really have your piece, but have your I don't know. But I want to give Oliver a chance to really speak on what's been happening recently and what's been on his mind in relation.
I am not looking at anything. For everyone that's in chat, I am not looking at anything. I'm blowing something.
I'm coming for that ass.
You're looking at figures.
I'm psyching. This is light yagging me. Chill out.
You're looking at fun of it too, man.
But go ahead, Oliver. Let us know what's been on your mind with this whole Poch thing, or what's been for you, I guess, a big standout thing that you've been wanting to discuss?
I mean, I'm not too bothered about the comments, like going from "we need to win now" to "we need patience," because I'll be honest, if you believed what Potts was saying, if you believe that was in any way realistic, then I'm afraid that's your problem. Like, looking at the makeup of the squad, you got a bunch of new players. The whole appeal, like, the thing is, with this season, it's both an appeal and kind of like a problem, is we're going in with a lot of uncertainty. So you can't just go in and be thinking, oh, we're going to win now, when we don't have any experience in the squad. We've got a bunch of players that half of us never heard of before. If you believe Potts there, then that's your problem. But, like, I think just the main problem really is, we had a pre-season. We had a good plan in pre-season. And by the way, playing with like 3 players at the back in the back line, that's not the problem, because we were doing that in pre-season and we were smashing teams. Problem is when your 2 best players in that pre-season, Andre Santos and Ian Maatsen, one goes out on loan to Notts Forest to be an 8th choice midfielder, and the other one can't get a sniff over Ben Chilwell at left wing, which is just one of the worst things I've ever seen. Those are the main problems. Like, we've built something, and that's not to say that it was going to be a seamless transition into the main season, but we just completely ripped up the plan once we lose both of our number 10s. And now here we are with one, we've got a point per game. It's nowhere near good enough. So I don't really think I've got much more to say about that. I mean, I'm sure we'll get into more later on, but it's just disappointing that we've kind of veered so much from what we thought we were going to get initially.
I completely. Sorry.
Go ahead,
I was gonna
Chris.
say I completely agree with like us not winning trophies and shit, because like we don't have enough experience. We have Sterling, he's experienced, and then we have Thiago Silva. Yes, he's experienced, but we don't know how long or how good Thiago might be good this year, because he is 39 years old. You never know. He might slow down. He might have a massive drop off. Who knows? But we don't really have much experience. Chilwell is experienced, but he's an awful left winger. Don't put him at left. Well, he's too far forward up. I don't know where he's playing. He could be left wing back, but really pushed up highly.
No, he is a left winger. He said so himself on TalkSport.
So
I'll pull up those comments in a minute.
So he's a left winger, and that's not his best position. His best position is a left wing back or left back, and some people don't even like him there anyway. So so he is experienced, but he's not doing good now. So we're not gonna win anything this year. All we can hope for is hopefully we get top 5. Oh, Gallagher is an experienced player, yes, Ahmed, I guess. But we're not gonna get any of those trophies now.
3 seasons in the Prem, season veteran.
I think we just should hopefully get top 5. That's the position where we should go for, is top 5 and only top 5. And I think that is still achievable, because we're not in any competitions really, European competition. So I think this team will get together a bit later on. We should be beating teams like Nottingham Forest and West Ham, but it might take a bit of time. I have to be patient because we signed a bunch of youngsters, and it's gonna take time, sadly. I wish we signed more experience, though. I really do.
But I think most of us will agree. Our main expectation this season was to see a consistent improvement of how we play, and in the results. Trophies, as we've seen under Tuchel, trophies can paper over the cracks. Right now, we just need to make improvements that show we have a sustainable way of playing football, attacking, scoring goals, keeping clean sheets. That's what we need before we can win a trophy, or else that'll just be more papering over the cracks. But we've had none of that in the first 4 games in the Premier League.
I will say we have played. I think we have played well in some parts of the game. We've actually missed the most big chances in the league this season. Big chances. We missed 11. And we're number 1 at that. We do play good football, but we just tend to miss a lot of our chances.
But Chris, we're inconsistent with it though, because you'll have what was a game where I think West Ham was one where we just missed a bunch of sitters, right?
Yes.
And then on the other end, you have the Notts Forest game where we had 2 shots on target.
Yes, but you say shots on target.
We didn't create enough in that game.
Jackson's shot where he was in a 6-yard box went over the crossbar, so that's not on target.
But my point is though, the creativity is inconsistent. You have one game where we'll be creating out the arse, and then you'll have another game where we literally do nothing. And what was it like? Nottingham Forest had a higher XG than us in that
That's not
in
one,
that
by
game.
the way. I was going to say the Chilwell chance. That was a golden opportunity. And the other Jackson chance where he tried taking on the keeper. We also didn't score from that as well because he tried taking him on. He should have shot.
I remember that, yeah.
And if you look up on Sky Sports, by the way, to the guy who said no, we haven't. We've actually missed the most big chances this season. Chelsea have missed the most big chances so far. You can look it up. I've seen it myself with my own eyes.
I think wasn't it 11, and then the next lowest was 10.
Yes, we've missed the most big chances this season with 11. Yes.
I have a little bit of statistic here to pull up for you guys. So club under Pochettino. Oh, Jesus Christ. Club stats under Pochettino compared to the rest of the league after 4 games. Most big chances created, most big chances missed. Third most XG, third least XG.
I'll just put that into context, Marshall. That's third most created and third least conceded.
Oh, okay, yeah. Gotcha. And then most possession in the league, second most passes completed. Somehow only 4 points.
It is right. Like, we created a lot of chances, and we don't really. There's not much of a threat in goal. I don't think Sanchez has. I'm not gonna blame Sanchez, by the way, but Sanchez hasn't really done anything in goal to help us either. Like, be the last man of defense, like as people want him to be. So, like, Sanchez hasn't looked the greatest, and our defenses had lack moments, like the one against Nottingham Forest, where Thiago Silva, I thought, made a mistake as well, being nutmegged. That was a bad mistake in defense. But I think Poch has got a good style of football in a way. Like, we are creating chances, but I think like playing Chilwell and stuff is going to end up costing him as well. Like, Chilwell at left wing is just not good enough. I'm sorry. It's just, you want an attacker there who can actually like create more and actually score more than Chilwell. You okay, Ahmed?
It's time to land the minerals. Chris, yeah.
Cook, mate.
Fucking minerals, bro.
Respectfully, I disagree with a lot of what you said there. I understand, like, I think for me, as someone that uses a lot of maths, creates a lot of statistics himself in his personal job, yeah, you can skew statistics here into your favor. When we see something like, we've created 21 chances, for example, yeah, how many of those though are honestly chances where there would be a meaningful chance for us to score goals from? And like a lot of the time, the chances
we've missed a few big ones this season.
1 second, let me finish. All right. So going back to it, yeah. When you look at the chances we're creating, we're not creating high quality chances. That's the thing. We're just creating close calls or stuff like that. The majority of our shots in the Nottingham Forest game were off target. Only 2 were on target. We can talk about the big chance that I missed, and yes, I do agree with Chris. Yes, there are 1 or 2 big chances that we missed, but the reality is, we should be creating enough high quality chances where missing one should not be a case. We shouldn't be wanting someone like Jackson, someone like Sterling. Like the one chance they get, they have to score. They have to be like 100% clinical. That should not be something that we should be expecting.
Can I say, like, the West Ham game where it wasn't even like sometimes they shoot where Sterling crossed it in, for example, and like 2 players missed it like between their legs, like didn't shoot, and then went to Chilwell and he took the shot. Like that was another golden opportunity for Jackson to put away. But also, like,
because the thing was, Jackson literally, when that shot was coming in, it wasn't coming in for Jackson. It was meant to be coming in for the second guy, Chukwuemeka. But then Chukwuemeka thought that because he thought the goal was gonna go baseline, because remember Sterling in the previous, because remember Sterling did a previous chance where he was going baseline. So that's what
Jackson still should have like hit that though. Like,
he didn't. But the thing is,
it might not have been for him, but like Jackson.
No, but again, but he doesn't. How can he do that, bro? The ball is this way, and the goal was behind him. The ball, no, it didn't. It went behind. It went through Chukwuemeka's legs. What are you talking about?
No, it went between both their legs.
No, it was behind. It was behind Jackson. It went between Chukwuemeka's legs, and then he went to Chilwell. He shot with his weaker foot.
Oh, so we are definitely talking about the same thing. I'm thinking, are we talking about the same thing?
Yes.
We definitely are.
Yes.
I swear it went between his legs as well.
No, it was behind. It was behind Jackson, because Jackson thought he was going to hit a baseline again. Both players thought they were going to hit a baseline, but because Jackson was literally because Chukwuemeka was running into it straight away, that's what it was. But for me, it does. The point you're making, what was it called? Chris, is not necessarily. It's not about. You're talking about. Oh, look at this one chance. The problem is we're only creating 1 or 2 big chances. We need to be creating 5,
we
6,
created
7,
a lot of
8 big chances. No, we haven't. What are you talking about? If you actually break it down, we've only created probably 10 big chances in 4 games.
We've missed 11 big chances this season.
Oh my god.
Go look at
The problem for me is that I don't care if you miss the big chances, as long as we're creating more than enough.
You just said we've only created 10 big chances, yet we've missed 11 big chances.
In 4 games. Yes, no, it's not.
Yeah,
We've only
exactly.
created 10 big chances.
No,
It's
we're
only
not.
been
We've
10.
missed 11. It said we'd missed
Oh
11.
my! On Sky Sports, literally, they said the most.
Yeah, on
the
Sky
most
Sports, we
is
said
10.
we've missed 11. We've missed 11 big
It's
chances.
10. It's 10.
No, we've missed 11. We've missed
Let me just
11
bring
big
it up right
chances.
now.
I've seen it myself. I'm sorry. Like
It is 10 big chances. I'm even sure about that.
we've actually missed.
Okay, well
11
let's
big chances.
hang on. Let's look at both of those. So if it was 10 over 4 games, that's 2.5 big chances per game. That's not good enough. If it's 11, then it's just
We've
above
also
2.5
put
per
some big
game. That's not good enough
Alright.
Yes.
on average.
But that's my point, like Oliver. The point I'm trying to make to Chris here and chat is that it doesn't like even okay. Let's say hypothetically it's 11. Let's say hypothetically it's 10.
They don't
Right?
like that.
It doesn't matter because we're not even creating enough big chances for us. There should be 4 to 5 big chances per game, in my opinion. That's what we should be creating. 4 to 5 big chances a game and scoring 2 of them. 2 of them.
Just to-
If we
just
score-
to
Well, we
meet
definitely
in the-
created
just-
3 big chances.
Just to
against
meet in the middle here,
Oh, my
right? Just to
Lord.
meet in the
What
middle
are you
here.
talking about, man?
So I listen. I don't disagree with both of you. I think both of you are right in some ilk. What I would say is that, do you guys think that a lot, and this is where the manager comes in, right? Obviously we know one of the issues is the wing, left wing. Playing Chilwell on the left wing has not helped us. You see that we are creating we are not creating absolutely any chances on that left hand side because the ball's not even coming from the left hand side with Chilwell on the left wing. The connectivity, the chemistry between Jackson and the left wing isn't there. Like it's just we're basically playing with only one wing and it's the right wing, right?
We're literally playing with 2 players.
Can I?
But
Can I
the other, hold on. Let me land.
Yeah.
The other thing I would say is that, do you guys think there's a lot of the issues, and big up Kai, a lot of the issues that are coming from
Kai.
creating chances? Do you think a lot of it comes from the fact that we no longer have a 10? Pretty much, we've been playing without a 10. Carney got hurt; he was the backup, and now we have to result. We have to. Who, by the way, I don't know if he's going to work as a 10. It said they said that he could be a 10, but we've seen in Man City he's mostly been a right winger. The only person we can rely on to play that 10 position right now is Palmer. I guess we maybe tried it with Enzo, and I don't know what you think of.
So okay, let me
Maatsen,
go
but
to your
he could
point.
be
Let me go to your point, Marshall. Yeah, because like Des is also backing me up. The problem that we are having at Chelsea Football Club, is this. The chances that we are creating, or the so-called big chances, whatever you want to call them, there are not enough high-quality big chances that are being created. People can still talk about 10, 11, but they're not enough high quality, in my opinion. The
You should have
second
said
point
high
for me,
quality to me first, then. No.
Yeah,
Because-
bro,
Chris,
that's
shut up.
Ahmed, that's not true,
respectfully,
though.
Shut up. No, it is. It is.
We have no.
respectfully-
Jackson's missed the most big chances.
What did
in
I
the Premier
say?
League.
What did I? You can literally roll back the tape, yeah? Roll back the tape, Chris. What did I say to you? We're not creating enough high quality chances, and then you decided to go down a whole tangent with me about the amount of high chances that were being
Oh,
created.
I did.
Literally. Yes, you.
I think I've
mister.
been pretty
Let's
calm.
have it right.
I think I've been pretty calm, man. You're the one who's freaking out here.
Yes, because you're just trying to troll me the whole time.
I'm not trolling, actually. Like Jackson has missed the most big chances this season.
Oh my.
And that's our
God,
striker, by the way. And I do rate Jackson.
Oh,
I do
man.
like Jackson.
But that's the thing, though. Like, I mean, Chris, like you can admit, like, if you're not, Erling Haaland doesn't score all of his big chances.
But the problem is,
Bro,
Marshall, yeah.
he's not-
When
I
you're
don't think
giving
he's
a
even on the
guy,
list, Marshall.
I've said this
That's
before.
crazy,
I've said
man.
this before in my videos. I've said this before in my stream.
He's given
When
a
you're
good amount
only
of
giving
chances.
someone, when you're only giving someone 1 or 2 big chances, one, like for example, Jackson probably only had 1 big chance the whole game, essentially, to score against Nottingham Forest.
2.
When he's only getting 1, essentially, the second one, I'll say meh. But when you're only giving this guy 1 chance to score, and is that and like someone like Erling Haaland 4, 5 to 6 to 7 times roughly is getting enough high quality chances to score at. We're expecting this guy to have 100% shot rate. That's what we're expecting.
No.
We're expecting these
No.
guys-
I'm not
we are
expecting it.
expecting these players because like, with the
No.
chance we're creating, we're only expecting these guys to score 1 to 2.
And Ahmed, mind you as well, just to add to that, if we create 2 big chances in a game, that doesn't mean they both go to Jackson.
Yes.
One could go to another player.
But Jackson has also missed the most big chances this season by like 2 extra to Ollie Watson's. this season, and Haaland's missed 3 big chances. So you talk about Haaland gets a lot of chances. He still put away more
Well,
chances.
I need to know how many big chances Jackson's got, because I know he scored one of them, and that was the Luton goal.
Probably 7 or 8. Like, I don't know.
So he's had 7 or 8 big chances.
No, he would have like 7 probably actually, because that one against Luton, obviously, he put away. He would have 7, and he put away 1 out of 7.
So 7 in 4 games. So he's getting 2. He's getting 2 big chances per game, basically under two per game. That's not good enough.
Against Liverpool, I don't think he even had a big chance today. It's just the other games I'm talking about, because I don't.
I'm saying on average, he's getting under 2 big chances per game. That's not good enough.
Smash up the like buttons, people.
Yeah, but like, it's just the last 3 games. The Liverpool game, he actually played. I think that was his best game, but he didn't really have any big chances. Like Jackson's link-up play and like dribbling ability on the ball has been very good, but some of the chances he's been missing has been quite like horrific, I would say. But
guess how many big chances that Nicolas Jackson has had in for Chelsea Football Club in his last 4 games?
Oh, it would be like 7 then.
6 big chances in the last 4 games. Right?
Wouldn't the Luton one count as a big chance?
And
what do you consider? What do they consider as big chances, though?
Again, I'm just saying, yeah, this is just from Opta. This is the best metric right now when it comes to the Premier League.
I will
they
say
are saying according to whatever they value as a high quality chance is he's only had 6, right? So I'm asking you this here: someone like Man City or like let's say another club like Liverpool, they are creating 6 big chances at least per game. Yeah, and we're only giving this guy 6 big chances in 4 games. Do you guys not see that there's an actual problem here? The problem for me is that you're not even giving this guy chances.
Definitely had
big chances per game.
He's had 7. He's had 7.
Oh my god. Okay, please.
He's wrong. Sky Sports said he's missed 6. How is that possible?
You're not even Chris. You're not making.
But Sky. You're looking at
Chris, Sky Sports and Opta aren't the same thing. They're not the same thing.
I know, but Sky Sports is more. I believe Sky Sports over like whoever just said that.
What are you talking about? Opta analysis is the one that the Premier League uses. That's the stats that they even use for like the majors, all the major clubs use. What are you talking about?
Well, I'm guessing the goal he scored then wasn't a chance he missed then. Never mind. I'm not going.
Bro, if you want to learn some statistics, I'll teach you myself because you know what I mean. I've got a university degree.
Damn, Ahmed is mad. Hey, Ahmed, you can be mad all you want, bro. But that Jackson tap in, bro, I would take it, bro. And mine is that.
No. But Kai, I agree with him. That's what I said to him. I said to you before. The chance he's missed is actually bad. Like, let's not get that twisted. But the point I'm making though is the chances that we're given, those so-called big chances. He's asked to literally be so we've got 6 big chances in over 4 games. We're asking this guy here to be so clinical that he's like to an extent that's nearly not impossible.
Bro, I'm not asking.
That's what I mean. Even Haaland's not that clinical.
Yeah, but you guys like I'm not asking. I'm asking him to be clinical, but like you're saying, like he can't get more than 1 goal in the last 4 games.
But Kai, bear in mind.
And he had chances. No, but you guys like it's why I find this funny because we had this excuses for Havertz and we said we're not gonna do this again. We like he plays so good. He plays so good the whole game, but he doesn't score goal. Oh, they will come. We've been waiting 3 years for Timo's goal to come, even though he made all the runs, all that crap. But we can't just keep using that as an excuse, right? Like at the end of the day, if he's not gonna put the goals at the back of the net, he's not doing his job. And I like Jackson. I think he's a decent player.
Difference is though, Kai.
I think we made a mistake where we made it. He's the only either him or Broja, the 1 goal man in 4 seasons, bro. That's the biggest mistake we made. Also, now that Nkuku's out, where are the goals gonna come from? Sterling.
Kai, I think the difference for me is that I've watched Havertz play against Arsenal, Manchester United, and get 4 to 5 big chances in those games and fluff them all. Whereas,
but we also seen Havertz score like bangers, like the one in Newcastle. It's a one-touch thing, and we if you use those like individual examples, it's not a good thing, because at the end of the day, scoring 1 goal in 4 games is Mount and Havertz numbers, and we wanted them out. So now we just.
But the problem is, you know what I'll say to you. Go ahead.
Let me just throw out something here, because I think, okay. I agree that, these guys should be scoring more goals, but like when you look at what Poch did last game, only 2 attackers against a Nottingham Forest. You're playing 3 center backs. You have Enzo, Caicedo, Gallagher, and you only have 3 attackers. Chilwell doesn't count as an attacker. He's a left back. So when you have a scenario like that where you're basically forcing Jackson to come into a 10 position, dribble past players, and he's by himself, like he has no left wing to pass it to. He only has Sterling, they're just gonna mark up Sterling and they're not gonna worry about Chilwell because Chilwell missed in that game. Chilwell missed a clear-cut chance to score. So like I can't criticize Jackson too much because I feel like he's doing all the right things. But you mentioned it yourself, Kai. Without Nkunku, and now there's no Carney, without the number 10 to play off like a second striker, I think it makes it just a lot harder for Jackson to do what he's got to do and score goals.
It's not only it, right? Like we can't like at the end of the day we can find all the excuses in the book. The excuses are not gonna get us goals, right? Like we need to find a solution. We need to find a solution. The reality is, we made sure that Jackson is our only option with Broja or whatever you feel about Vlahovic or whatever. He could have helped us at least just as a rotational option, And now Chilwell is not even good as a left back, let alone play him as a left wing, So for me, I'm just baffled by that. Like we can say that we made a lot of good recruitments, but I think we could have done it in a different way where it's been a little bit more blessed in the attack. I think midfield we're sorted. We're sorted the midfield for the next 10 years. Same thing with the defense. We have so many options in defense. But in the attack, man, instead of Palmer, we could have got other player who's already ready for us to score goals because he's also unproven. We have so many unproven players.
I would say that to you, Kai, though, yeah. We actually do have players to play in these attacking positions. I don't understand why Poch is continuing to use Chilwell left wing. Like I've seen these tweet like threads about how he's saying left back left wing. That stuff you see on Twitter, right? From like certain accounts, and it's like when you actually look at it, he himself today came out on BBC.
Damn tacticos, man.
Yeah. BBC Radio 5 said I'm playing left wing. He literally said that, and like for me, he cannot be. This is not his position. We have. If you still feel strongly about playing like Sterling there, play Madueke on the left.
But do you think? But I have a theory about this, and it's not my theory. I've seen it on Twitter, but it does make a lot of sense. Is it because he doesn't rate the left wing option that we have in Nuni and Madueke and Nuni and Modric that he rather gamble? He rather gamble and use what's his name, using Chilwell instead.
No, I don't think he believes that Mudryk is ready. I think that's the real.
What about Nuni though?
The thing is, Nuni is playing right wing. Nuni's a major.
Well, you could hold on, Ahmed. But you could play Nani Madueke on the left and do the same thing that you do with Sterling.
But that's not.
He's unpredictable. Is he going to cut back? Is he going to cross?
Can I?
No, but the thing with Madueke is that he's barely played on the left. Like he's only played for England once and under 21 England.
Okay, I'll come back to that. Let me just read this tweet real quick here regarding Chilwell.
Sterling can play on the left. You can move Sterling to the left. That's his natural position.
It's possible. Hold on, real quick. Chilwell. Every game we had control. We have controlled possession in the majority of matches. We have played well. We need to finish chances, be more ruthless, and stay composed to get back into games. And then the next tweet I have here, Simon Phillips. Ben Chilwell. I'm still learning as I am going. I have been playing left back and then left wing back, and now I am again higher up the pitch. I expect the pressure on me to contribute goals. That's something I am going to work on at Chelsea over the next few games to add to the goal threat. I need to shoot instead of passing the ball, which I mean he's referring to the clear chance he missed against. Well, who knows? But here's the thing. Going back to what you guys were saying is I don't necessarily want to move Sterling because I if it's not broken, don't fix it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I think he could work on the left, but he's doing really good on the right. So just keep him on the right. I think there's a lot to go off of what Kai just said, which I think there is a little bit of a trust issue between Poch and the choices he has at left wing. But then again, if you're losing games, you might as well just play Mudryk or Nani on the left and try and lose anyways. It's the results. If you're losing games with Chilwell on the left, the result's not going to change if you put Chilwell at left back and you try out Mudryk on the left. You might as well try it out. If you're going to lose, you're going to lose anyways. So try it out and see what happens. Like, because that's the thing too. Like, as much as everyone wants to banter Mudryk and everyone wants to say, "Oh, this guy's trash" and all this stuff. He's had 11 or 12 appearances and has averaged out 13 minutes per those appearances. He's only started 2 of those games.
No, but this is where I look at it. Yeah, like too many people in this fan base, they either want to blame the coach or they want to blame the players. And in reality, it's a combination of both. Because the players are also like Poch can't hold the hands of Jackson and tell him to fucking finish that chance. Like they just needed to tap it. He can't tell Sterling to pass faster. He can't tell them how to play football, right? And we've
Sure.
seen, it's not like it's the first season we've seen that same issue at Chelsea with scoring goals, right? So it's not only under Poch. We can say that Potter is good enough either, yeah, but like 3 managers and we still have the same thing. And even with under Tuchel, we had similar issues with finishing.
Oh yeah, we
And
definitely
and
did
if
with
you
Timo.
and if you look at it, did we really upgrade on our attacking option as far as finishing goes compared to what we had to
Finishing,
what we have now? Is there any proof of that we actually did it, or are we just looking at in theory and thinking, okay, yeah, we did because these guys are better on the ball or better technically? But do we really have a goal scored other than maybe Sterling
that's
and
what Jackson is, though. I think he is
and then
better on the ball
Cuckoo.
over finishing.
No, for me, I don't think Jackson is that much of a finisher. I think I like
Yeah,
I like
what I
more about Jackson is his ability to make players around him look better, right? That's what I like about him. I think with Cuckoo,
Imagine we had like someone like Ivan.
yeah, I
Toney
think
and
with Cuckoo and Sterling, we would have a lot more like attacking option where we can finish. But I just don't think we have that. And I think Palmer, I doubt Palmer is going to help us with that.
This comment right here baffles me. 13 minutes is enough to prove you should start. Mudryk will disappear in a low block too.
But again, it could be this thing in training. It could be something that he sees in training, how he plays like in training.
Could be. I get that, and I can definitely see like the argument of like, because like, listen, I know, despite what people think, I think Chilwell, even if Chilwell wasn't vice captain, when you have to pick between Cucurella or Chilwell at left back, most of the fans and most managers will probably still stick with Chilwell at left back because he provides you overlapping runs. He provides you something in the attack. Maybe he's not the best defensively, but we were winning games with Chilwell at left back in prior seasons. It's not like we lost games because of Chilwell constantly at left back. He's not that much of a liability at left back. I know he is a slight liability, and he does lose the ball. He does get dispossessed often, but it's not like we can't win games with him at left back. But the issue with having him at left back and then Mudryk is that there doesn't seem to be a link-up play. They seem to get in each other's way. I did see that a good amount in preseason.
Let me speak on that one. I know why. The problem is, go ahead. You know what it is, Marshall? It's as simple as this, in my opinion, yeah? The wingers that we have brought in are out-and-out wingers. They're not inside forwards. The only inside forward that you could say can play in that inside forward range is maybe Sterling, because he can do somewhat of a job there. But Madueke, Mudryk,
I disagree. Bro.
No,
whenever you see Madueke at PSV Eindhoven,
but Madueke, I'm talking about Mudryk. Mudryk is an inside forward. Whenever he plays for Shakhtar, whenever he plays against Real Madrid, he would cut in inside a lot, man. He would score.
No, but
he cut in from wide.
Yes, but he cuts in from
but that's
wide.
inside forward. That's what inside forward.
That's not inside forward.
Inside forward start inside.
Look up at the definition of an inside forward, bro.
He's not in starting. He's not like an actual inside forward. He plays.
Marshall, can you look up the definition of an inside forward? Ahmed, I'm a football manager nerd, bro. I'm a football manager nerd, bro.
It's not.
Let's not do this, bro. Let's not do this, bro.
Ahmed, you get stressed.
You can say, but inside forward,
Ahmed,
he cuts inside and shoots.
Inside forward is a motherfucker who cuts inside, bro, to score goals. That's
but
inside
the thing
forward,
is, it's not just. But they don't just do. But the thing is, with both Mudryk and Madueke, they don't just cut inside to shoot. They both they hold the touchline. They come in. They either hit you at the byline to come to make that pass into the midfielder that's crashing into the box or into the striker. Or they cut inside. They have both options to use. It doesn't make them an inside forward. That makes them just a wide winger.
No, they're inside forwards, bro. Inside forwards cuts inside, bro. It's literally the definition.
I was gonna say.
I don't think so. Real quick, big up Curry Pirate. Welcome to the stream, man.
So here we go, guys. Heard all you guys from all the different channels before. Here's a problem I see. Honestly, it's like I think it's the key point. And once again, why are we changing something that worked in preseason? I think right now it's more the formation thing, right? We're talking about big chances created. Throughout preseason, we saw how many big chances we created. I know it could be preseason, lesser opposition, so on and so forth. But why are we playing such a defensive formation, right? That could be a first. If Poch also wants to stick with this, and one of the key points we pointed out was center back. We have Badi Shield coming in. I'd rather have him start than Thiago Silva if we want this quote-unquote faster play from the back. So why don't we do that instead of having a slower 38 Thiago Silva? Sure, he can play once in a while in cup games and so on and so forth if we're sticking with this three. But then at the same time, I'd rather have Matheson also instead of Chilwell because he can play in multiple positions.
I think with the
So it's like
Badiashile
plus.
thing, it's a bit. I think it's a bit too soon to ask for that. Like, you can want that as like an end goal, but right now he's literally only just come back from injury, and we don't want to rush him back into the lineup. So, I think that's something we can aspire to, but maybe asking for that in the Bournemouth game, that's a bit too soon, maybe. But yeah.
But like the one thing, like people mistaken. Like it's not that I don't completely rate Mudryk. Like that, I think he's a horrible player. I just think we made a mistake where we brought these guys to the point where they can't really slowly develop. Like it's all the pressure is on them to perform right now. If we brought somebody who's experienced, and then they could play and slowly get like integrated into the team, rather than having all this drama of carrying Chelsea on their shoulders, they would have played a lot better, man. They would have, like, because at Arsenal, Mudryk, he wouldn't have been a starter at once, right? They have Saka, there you have Martinelli. We can slowly grow into the team. We don't have that. It's either him or Nuni. That's it. So for me, man, the recruitment was great everywhere else but the attack. The attack, we made a lot of mistakes, in my opinion, man.
I kind of agree with you because Arsenal had basically the same thing, right? Where they put a lot of pressure on Saka, and they got away with it also because they have Martinelli and so forth. But Martinelli, I think, was bought for like 4.8 million pounds from like the 4th division of the Brazilian league, right?
Yeah, but
not for 66 million from Ukraine. And then on top of that, there's add-ons that go up to 100 million, right? So, like with the players that Arsenal did buy in, at least with the attack, it wasn't as much as what Chelsea have been spending on these youngsters. So it is the pressure of being in a big. Sorry, go ahead.
But that's not only it. Sorry to interrupt you. Because if you remember, like Martinelli took 3 or 4 years to be integrated into the team. He wasn't a starter at Arsenal until Arteta came in. So that's also something that they did. That's my biggest issue with Bowley, with the attack. He just threw them in. Nobody's above them. They just come here. They can't slowly develop, and they just been rushed into the team, and it shows now. They're too nervous when they play.
No, I agree with you.
Before you go, real quick, just big up Will. Just signed up and became a proper casual. Thank you, Will. Your support is very much appreciated. Go ahead, Curry. What were you gonna say in rebuttal to what Kai just said?
Actually, I more so agree with what Kai is saying, but that's the reason why we had to rush, is because they're also worth X amount more than what Arsenal had to buy, right? With Martinelli, he's 4.8 million. We can bleed him in. That's fine, you know. But then when you're buying Mudryk and everyone for like 40, 50, 60 million plus, we have to expect them to bang, right? Even with like you could say the Real Madrid situation, they had Vinicius, right? But they had Vinicius, they bought him for 40 million. But the game plan was initially for Hazard to come in, right? The established 120 million pound player. But then because Hazard didn't work out and Ronaldo left, that's what Vinicius had more pressure. But he obviously worked. But that's what we haven't done, is we haven't created that bridge. We were thinking that Sterling might be that, but that's only one winger out of a possible 6 winger positions that we want, or 4 winger positions that we want, which I think was unsustainable. And this also bleeds into the whole policy that we learned in the last few days, is that they were only going for 25 years and under. Right. Now I'm thinking, is like, did we luck out on Nkunku because he was technically 25 in December when we pre-got him, and now he's 26. So technically, if we didn't pre-get him in December, would we not have gotten for him this summer? Is that the policy? Like, is it so strict and hard fast that it's like 25 and like this weird FIFA filter we're putting through? Like, it can't be extended by a year or two, maybe.
But here's the thing
but Sterling cannot rebuttal that, because Sterling is also like 27.
Not only that, Kai, but like now we're being linked with Ivan Toney, and I'm pretty sure Ivan Toney doesn't fall into that category either.
How old is he? I think he's 26. No, Ivan Toney.
No, he's 20. Yeah, he's 27.
But
I
missed out on Madison.
28.
Yeah, we missed out on Madison for that reason, and Tony now is being linked for January. Like, I think overall, I think the club signings, they wanted to be in that average, nothing over 25, because they want to build that spine. They want to give these long contracts to amortize as much as they can. I get that, and you're not likely to do that with the players that are older. But at the same time, I think there's a select exceptions that they will make for that, and we're seeing that. I think with we'll see what happens in January. But if we go in for Tony, then that'll happen. As for like, I know you guys are saying, and a few of you guys have been saying that, like, I think the issue that we made with the attack, with recruitment this summer, was that we went too young. I guess where I want to go with that is that I really don't see what other option we could have gone down with experience in the attack, because a name that gets thrown up there often, Kudos. Kudus at Eredivisie, 22. He's not that much older. Is the experience you're going to get at Eredivisie going to translate over to the Premier League? That's yet to be seen. Very few players have come to the Premier League from the Eredivisie and really proven themselves, but we'll see what happens with him at West Ham. Ryan Cherky is another one that's been thrown out there. He would have been a good choice to have in the attack, but
they said we'll wait until 2024 to get him. That's what they said.
Yeah, those are also just the option that we were looking at. There's a lot of other options in world football, like the Georgian guy from Napoli. He would have slotted to our team perfectly.
Kvaratskhelia?
Yeah, we should have definitely
liked him a lot.
But you know what the issue is, yeah. All these guys that we all want, yeah. How much are they all gonna cost us? If you're being honest, I know.
Come on, are we really now?
We've got enough money. We've got enough money to pay for that. Though.
No. At best, yeah, we probably, we've always spent for Moise Caicedo, which you probably would have had to, no matter what way we look at, which is like roughly 100 million. At best, you probably could only spend another 100 million on another like top tier player if you wanted to.
But wouldn't you rather pay like Nuni and Mudrik? Don't get them and get this Georgian guy. I can't fucking say his name for the.
Or not get Lavia.
But the thing is, the club, right? Because
the club mismanaged money. That's all there is, Ahmed. The club mismanaged money, bro.
But the thing is, if we buy like him right now, how much would he cost us? He wouldn't cost us 100 million. The best cost what 120, 130 million for him.
He's not gonna cost 100. He's not.
Even when Leao, it's like 100 million.
I don't think so.
Osimhen would have cost us 130, 150 million.
But Ahmed, you don't know that. That's just hindsight, bro. Like there's a lot of.
It's Surrey, yeah. What do you? This is what Italian clubs do.
Yes, but we already know what they're going to offer us. What, like, we shouldn't be kidding ourselves. Like, we know what these guys are going to cost. Whatever, 100 million pounds. We could probably at best buy one of these guys early. Probably at best.
But my issue is with this, right? We say, oh, we didn't have options. These are the only option we had. No, we didn't. Those are the options that we looked at. There's a lot of options in world football right now. There is Chukwueze from what's his name? From was it Villarreal or Sociedad? Nigerian guy. So he's a very good winger.
I would say Dybala
similar age. Just the profile that we looked at.
We looked at the age group instead of the quality. That's what it is.
No, but there is a lot of players in the age group that we are looking at, but we just didn't look at them. We want unproven players, and that's fine. But when you get unproven players, you get unproven value on the pitch as well. No, you get unproven value on the pitch as well.
Like with Enzo, inconsistency with young players, right?
With Enzo, he might be young, but you could see the quality in the World Cup. He plays like a 25, 26-year-old. But that's why he's the most mature.
Yeah, but he's not world class yet, though. He's not world class. He's got a lot. I hear what you're saying. No, I hear what you're saying. He's a good player, but he's not. If you look at the players we've had previously, Lampard and all of that, he's got a lot to prove still. Don't get me wrong, he's a good player, but he's still got a lot to prove.
But he's one of the few that you can actually see the potential in him when he plays. Like the other ones,
I agree.
You can't even see the basics. They can't even do the basics.
Yeah.
That's what I mean. Like
the only one I would say in the squad that you could probably say that right now is Mudrik. I would say that because I feel like everyone else. They're on some level of development.
I don't know.
I've
seen Nuni cross the flag many times, bro. Stop it, bro. Like, no, it's not like I'm not the biggest fan of Mudrik either, but I've seen Nuni make mistakes that even I wouldn't make.
And you can't say Palmer's done anything yet. He hasn't even done anything yet. He's got still a lot to prove.
I'm talking about the ones that are currently here, though. That's what I'm talking about.
Sure. So can I give an example? Sorry. Yeah. So you're saying like Kvaratskhelia or Rafael might be 120. Let's go with that price. Let's just say 120. Okay.
Yeah.
Let's not even say Mudrik. Okay. 45 million we pay for Palmer. If we're thinking of going for Tony in the winter, it's gonna be 60 million, 70 million. That's basically your 120 right there. If you want, and he's younger. Whoever you're getting, Kvaratskhelia, Leao, way younger. I'm not even counting the scapegoat that everyone counts, which is Mudrik at 66. I'm giving you Cole Palmer. Okay, I can even go a little less than that. We can go with Madueke at 30 million. You're almost at the 120 million range again.
Yeah.
And we know this winter is the last winter that we can pull off that little scheme that we do with regards to amortization. So I thought we should have gone heavy and hard this summer or this coming winter and just gone for the 100 million pound player in the attack once more, right? And just want to bring back the previous point for just 1 second. You guys did say Sterling for older players, but that was last summer before the whole backroom staff came in and we went the super young. Because the entire last summer was, 32-year-old Koulibaly, so on and so forth, basically all older players, right?
Yeah.
Mostly besides Chucky. So that was my only counter argument. And so I think in the attack, we did very much neglect that. I don't know for some reason why in the attack we're going for super unproven, extremely high ceiling, but also very low floor.
And it's the one position that needs a lot of confidence as well, which is crazy because it's the one position where you need a lot of confidence. You need composure. Yeah, you need to be to be cut edge.
Needs to be ready-made, really and truly.
Yeah, like I'm not even saying let's pay 100 million for a striker. Let's say we stick with Jackson, but we should invest heavy on the winger at least. At the very least, we should to either provide the assists needed or the goals needed.
I mean, I get what you guys are saying, and I agree. Like, we spent a good amount of money in the midfield. We spent, I would say, a decent amount of money in defense with our defenders that we got.
I spent a lot of money in defense, bro.
Yeah, but when you look at the attack, we spent a good chunk of money, but not on proven players, I should say. Do you guys think that part of that has to do with, one, they've planned from the very get-go to go for Tony, and they want to wait what's going to happen with Tony, because Tony seems to be like the best match. And two, when you look at the attacking options in the market right now, you're looking at Osimhen, right? Everyone's talking about Osimhen. Vlahovic, that one, as much as I wanted Vlahovic, we're not entirely sure what's going to happen with the injuries, if he's a good fit. That also, we still have Romelu Lukaku in the books. You think all these things play a factor as to why we didn't go for the big profile, the proven striker, and just drop the money? And on top of it too, like the amount we spent on whatchamacallit, on Caicedo, you know, that's a decent chunk of money. FFP and all that stuff does matter in this instance as well. And we weren't going to spend a small amount of money on, you know, a big profile attacker. Do you think that has to do a factor?
It's kind of hard to say because we don't really know the board ourselves properly, so we don't really know what they were really looking at properly. Because if we wanted to go for a centre forward, we knew from last year that we really needed to get a proper centre forward. So it's not like they didn't know this.
I agree.
So I don't understand why it took them so long to think, okay, let's get someone that's guaranteed 20 goals a season, because we haven't got that guy. We still haven't got a guy that is guaranteed to score 20 plus goals a season. So we're relying on Jackson, which is fair enough. He's a young player and you see the potential, but he's not a proven goal scorer. So I don't know. We could be waiting for Tony, maybe, but it's hard to say.
But it's also crazy for me because like when they sold Mount and Havertz, which I was, Marshall, you know me, I was down for that sale for 3 years too late. And for me, like the issue with these guys is like the fact that they average the goal every 5 or 6 games. And instead of fixing that, they made the same mistake which we had been doing for the last 3 years. They got in players who are not proven to put the ball at the back of the net. And then we are basically where we were last season, where we're 12th again. We're not winning games. I don't understand. Like, don't they learn from their mistakes? And like, I want to believe in them that they're billionaires.
But that's the problem. That's the problem with these owners, Kai. They don't want to learn from their mistakes. They keep on making mistakes after mistakes after mistakes. And this is why we are where we are now.
But I think they, in a way, I see what
they're trying.
I see.
They're trying, but it's not good enough.
It's them
not good enough.
These
in the midfield
young players and just giving them death row contracts.
No, but you say that, but in the midfield they got 2 of the best young midfielder in the world. In the defense, we have a lot of very, very good young defenders. But in the attack, do we have any attackers that in world football you're like, shit, this 23-year-old, 20-year-old is going to be the next big thing? No. You don't have that.
No.
Enzo is that. Caicedo is that. Then you have Fofana is that for France. But is there anybody like?
Isn't Cuckoo 25?
No one else.
I know it's a bit older, but
that's my issue. That's my issue.
I think we're doing, and the weird thing is we keep on dealing with what ifs. Like even with Tony, first we have to compete with all the big EPL clubs.
Yeah.
Everyone's thinking we're going to go for Tony. Second of all, it's another what if because this man is not going to be training in any sense of the word basically for 4 months, 6 months basically, right? Because he can't train with the team. He can just solo train at his house. Or
I think he can. I think he can train. I think he can train next month. Apparently,
he can with the team.
Just by himself.
No, his ban ends in January.
Exactly, and it's like mid-January too, so there's still going to be matches for us in the Carabao Cup if we get that far. So on.
Chelsea should try to
another what if. where
Make the
it's a
transfer now
quote unquote
for
proven
January.
striker, but he
I would do
still
that.
might be out of form in 3 months' time when he hasn't been training with any team at all.
But we do have another striker,
Mm.
like say for example, it
We-
takes Ivan Toney Watt. We still have Jackson. I think Jackson is a decent player, but like the only thing what I would say lacking with Jackson is maybe goals. But we still have a decent.
No,
striker.
but to be frank, if our other wingers don't step up and we get Tony, I'd rather have Jackson as like a left wing, left forward, because
Yeah.
previous to last season
I
in
like-
Real, he was a left winger, right?
I
And he
like
does
Joe
drift in,
Jackson,
so we
right?
can't have.
Yeah.
So he can help link up in the left side that we've been lacking with all the left
Yeah.
wingers we have.
But-
Sterling can stay on the right if we want, and we have Tony. I'm completely
Yeah.
fine with that.
But that's one thing that I can't wrap my head around is like the fact that Jackson is like proven recordly that he's not a goal scorer. He's very good at creating. He's very good off the ball. But it's like hiring a programmer that can't code. You know, it's like it's great that he
He
can do all
scored
this
12 goals last season, bro.
theoretically. Yeah, 12 goals.
Yeah, but he had a
12 goals.
purple patch
In the last
Yeah.
6 months.
Eight-
The last 6
eight of
months.
them came from the
Yeah,
last 8 games, so he
again,
kind of stopped.
again, we look at small samples again. That's an issue at Chelsea right now.
But
It's like everything we look at
one
is small
thing I-
samples.
I've
Yeah,
had-
okay. You could say that with Enzo as well, though. If you look at his stats, they're not fantastic. Do you get what I mean? They're not great. He's not getting 15 assists.
But
No,
he's
I
a-
get you, but
No, but he's a center
I get
midfielder.
what you're
Center
saying,
midfielder's
but
job
if we
is never
looked
to
at-
score assists.
look
I
at
would
what
say-
we've had
yeah,
before.
go ahead, Chelsea. Yeah.
No,
What I
no,
wanna
go.
say-
Sorry, no, go.
Yeah. What I want to say though, yeah, guys, yeah. Do you not think though, yeah, from what we've been seeing from the ownership at the very least, yeah, these guys are trying to go for this young squad who's going to develop with time. Like, yeah, I've kind of accepted that to an extent that this is the reality that we're trying to face.
But
right?
you can take
But
that
I was
a
gonna
level
say,
ahead,
didn't-
though.
But
You
for
can
me,
take it a level
I was
ahead, though,
gonna-
Ahmed.
yeah, but for me, like I've accepted that. That's why when I see these guys like Mudryk, Noni, Cole Palmer, you're seeing obviously Jackson as well. All these guys are bringing in. I'm not expecting them to click straight away.
Yeah, it's all for the
I'm not
future.
about you guys.
Bro,
Yeah,
but
that's
I
what
believe,
me.
I
That's
believe,
like-
in order for you to have a future,
I
you
know,
gotta,
but
you gotta have
from
a,
what I'm
you
seeing
gotta
from
have
you
a
guys-
present, bro. Nobody goes
But
from 0 to 100 in one day, bro.
Exactly.
You gotta be,
And
But they're not gonna go
and-
to 200.
You gotta build up.
with-
Yeah.
with
yeah, but
the-
right
gotta
now
build
they're at
up.
0. How are they gonna go to 100, bro? You think Mudryk is gonna be
But
in
that's
2 years
but
gonna be
again-
amazing?
But again, that's why you brought in Pochettino. He's meant to be the one that's helping them
Pochettino's-
with a whole week without Europe,
No.
week in, week out to train these guys in the
But-
style of play that he wants them to do.
Yeah, but there's-
For example, with the midfield, we did invest in quote unquote proven players. Caicedo, yes, he had 1.5 seasons, but it was one and
But
a
he's
half
proven
seasons
in the
in the
Premier
Prem, right? Enzo,
Mhm.
we did invest, but he was basically leveling
Proven in the
up
World
every
Cup
6
as well.
months, right?
Yeah.
I'm saying even in South America, he moved twice. Then he moved in 6 months to Benfica, and then in 6 months he moved to us. And during that span, he was an essential cog in the World
Yeah.
Cup. Once again, proven. Okay, Lavia, we did bid for last season, but we got him this season. Once again, proven once again in the Prem for an entire season. But we haven't done that with the attack. We have Mudryk, Ukrainian league. We have Madueke, PSV Eindhoven. Okay.
Yeah.
Yes, he
And-
creates.
and
He's not a goal scorer. Jackson too. He's only been scoring the last.
And even
6
in those leagues, they weren't
Great link-up
impressive.
play.
They didn't have any crazy stats in that league either. Like
Yeah,
Noni, if you
yeah.
look at
Yeah,
the stats this week,
Mudryk's is
they
not
weren't
good.
bad.
Yeah, his stats
Mudryk's
weren't
stats,
great.
None of them.
Mudryk's stats also
So-
not great. So why don't we get
Yeah.
the best out of the best of these young players rather than get just
Okay, but
average or
okay,
below average young
you
players?
guys have already said
potential.
that the best of the best that you guys wanted was like Leao. Apparently, the club tried to get Leao before the contract, his contract renewal.
I don't think they've done enough. I don't think they've
I
done
don't think
enough
they tried enough.
to get
They
Leo.
tried enough there.
Yeah.
How can you say they didn't do enough with certainty?
I'm saying to you,
Like you were in
Have
the
they-
Did they? All right. Did you? Okay. No.
No,
What I
but-
mean is, did you see
no, but
they
you
put
say- you say
120
that
mil
they did.
down?
You say,
We have.
Marshall,
Yeah.
Marshall, again, you
Yeah,
can
we
be
did
devil's
try.
advocate. How do you know that they did?
We never
Because
put
you
money
were looking
down.
at the boardroom as
Yeah.
well, man.
Yeah, but like, and that's why, like, I don't try to assume what they did or didn't. Like, did they
'Cause
put enough
Leo-
effort in? But how do I know
Leo-
that they did or not? You know?
Because going from Leao to Mudryk, like respectfully to Mudryk, is a huge step because Leao was one of the
Yeah,
highest
Yeah.
and mind you,
prospects in
guys,
Serie A.
listen, AC Milan knew very well we were interested in Leao. We were talking about Leao since the summer, so it's not like Milan didn't know. So I think we put in enough of an interest that they knew we were interested in,
I
which is
thought we
why.
split.
I mean,
Fair.
listen, I'm just.
But did we put in a bid, though?
Listen, I'm not a fly on the wall, but I'm pretty sure Milan knew. We wanted a price, but Milan didn't want to entertain it because Milan wanted to sign an extension or another contract for Leao. So
And he
I
owed the
don't
money
know
up
if I
for
could-
it.
I don't know if I could say with confidence, like, hey, did they put a bid in? Did we try
So
enough?
I-
Like,
I agree with Leo, but we can give another example of someone in a different league. Cole Muani, the one who went to PSG from Frankfurt, right? He had a great season once again, proven record, great season. He's like 22 or something, and he was only bought for 90 million euros. So I think that's
Only,
about 70 to 75 million pounds. I know it's only, but I'm saying compared to the money we've spent and how big strikers are going for right now, that's a pretty decent price for 75 million, right?
In one season,
that's your Cole Palmer.
But the thing
Yes,
with
but we
Colomani,
we spent 120 million on a Caicedo that's had 1.5 seasons. So I
Curry.
like,
And that's not proven though. That's Premier League, so
Curry,
it's different.
apparently, Colomani only wanted PSG from what we know. He apparently, like Tottenham even came in for Colomani, and apparently he rejected Tottenham and said he only wanted PSG to go back to Paris. So sometimes, we also need to take into consideration.
I swear people said Caicedo only wanted Arsenal last January too, but we somehow.
But that was a fact because he was trying to get. He was getting paid 3K.
He's trying to get a Brighton.
If you're trying to get on 3K a week,
if your board is good enough, you can convince anybody to join. Man. We convinced Fabregas to come to Chelsea. We convinced Thiago Costa to come to Chelsea over a lot of clubs. We convinced Pedro to come to Chelsea after he left Barcelona. That's an excuse from me. If your project is good enough, you can convince players to come.
But let me ask you guys something. Right? Let me ask you guys something. And big up everyone. I got to start rotating some people in and out because people are gonna start wanting to come.
Yeah, I gotta go
in
a bit, Marshall. I just want to.
It's all good. But I did want to say, like, what if this is all like part of the process? I hate to say this, but this is all part of the process.
You should hate to say it, though. Chelsea.
Because listen, last season, what was the one thing that we all said we needed to revamp completely?
Score goals. Our midfield.
It's our midfield.
Our midfield, right? And what did we do this season? We completely revamped that midfield. What if in January? This is a big what if. I don't have hindsight. Like I don't have a crystal ball in front of me to freaking predict what the hell's going to happen. But what if the next revamp is, okay, let's start getting experienced attackers to challenge these younger players.
Why didn't we do that first?
We have space for that.
We have the midfield. We have the midfield, and because of FFP, we're not going to spend 300, 400 mil in one window. We have to spend it in increments because of the set. We have to sell players. We have to get shirt sponsors. All this stuff counts for FFP. Like it's all a process. But whoever keeps saying casually, go ahead, talk to me.
Maybe that will happen. We go for an experienced attacker in January. But the thing is, I don't know who. We could have done that this summer. I mean, we could have done that.
Okay, hold on. You say I don't know who. Who would you have gotten this summer?
I mean, look.
Who's not available in January that was available in summer?
Personally, like for the striker, I mean, look, I personally wanted Osimhen, but at the end of the day, that was way too unrealistic. Let's get that straight because he's 200 mil, right? Yeah, so that was way too unrealistic.
Almost
about 150, I think.
No. The Napoli president came out and said that if you want to get Osimhen, you're gonna have to pay 200 mil. That's what he said.
Okay, that's unrealistic. There's no point then. I can understand that then.
So after that, I would have at least said, okay, well, if you can't get Osimhen, why not try and go for like someone who can actually bang you in 20 goals this season? Why not go for
Remy?
I don't know, someone like I was thinking someone like Lautaro Martinez or someone like a Jonathan David.
Man. Stop.
No. I'm being honest.
Can I?
Stop.
Can I say a player?
Real quick. Actually, Chris, tell me the player, and then I'm gonna.
No, this is a player I would actually love to have since how cheap he would have been. Dybala. He did really well last season.
Hold on. Let me give
Okay,
you guys some options.
I'm not sure about it, man. I'm not sure.
Yeah, exactly. Every single player you're gonna name, there's a lot of cons to, which of course is gonna happen with Oliver. Which of course is gonna happen with like any player you name. But okay, Dybala. injury prone, very cheap, but very injury prone, not available for
Did he
the
have a lot of
team.
injuries last season?
A lot of
Marshall,
injuries, which is
Marshall,
why
you're
he was-
shameless.
He had
You're
the one
shameless
big one,
because
I remember.
Nunez has been injured to his whole team at Chelsea, bro.
Dybala played less
He
than
has,
half of the
but
Serie A games
listen,
this season.
I had
last
my
season.
doubts about Nani,
I don't think
and he came in. He hasn't, except for the recent injury that he got at U21, he's been pretty good about staying fit. But I had my doubts about it because of the same reasons, right? Hold on,
He
let
came
me
to
just.
Chelsea injured.
That's what I was thinking.
I don't think he did. I don't remember.
No, he
anyways,
didn't. No.
Dybala,
I swear he
okay, injury prone, cheap player, would have been like a loan for a season. We don't know what could have happened with him. Okay, Lautaro Martinez. You guys saw how the panel reacted to Lautaro Martinez. Is he the guy? Is he going to be clinical? You saw how he played in the World Cup. He wasn't that convincing to me. He hold on, let me just land. You saw how he wasn't that convincing to me. And on top of that, is he going to be as good as what he would be without Lukaku? Who knows? Then we got Vlahovic. Another option we had. Okay, Vlahovic, for the amount of money Juventus wanted and the injury record he had as well, he didn't do that well at Juventus. Again, doubts. Osimhen, too much fucking money. Then we have Kolomuani, which again, that one's a risky one. The profile of a striker that he was he going to fit the system that we had? Who knows? Then Taremi, too old. Like there's like all these factors. I just named you 6 strikers.
No, the thing is, I wouldn't have mind Vlahovic, but my issue with Vlahovic is just he has a reoccurring issue of groin injuries. So that's why I passed on him at the end. That's why I changed my mind on Vlahovic. It's not because of his stats at Juventus, but it's just I know what he could do. But at the end of the day, I said it again. It's just his history with groin injuries. That's why I didn't want him anymore.
See, that's why I would like because Vlahovic, whatever his name is, he would cost like 70 million, right? Yeah, he would cost like 70
have
million.
a good one, brother.
And
Take care, everybody, man. It's nice talking to you guys.
See you later. And yeah, he would have got injured a lot. Dybala, he does get injured, but I only remember one big injury he had last season, and he would be like less than 30
he
minutes.
literally, this is a statistic I did for my YouTube channel, yeah, and I also told this to Marshall. He played less than half of the Serie A games last season.
How many games is there? Like 30? What 30?
And Chris, I want to point out that he's playing Serie A. And he's just injury prone. If he comes to the Premier League, this man will have gingerbread man legs. He will have nothing.
Yeah. His best days are over as well. He was better a few 4 or 5 years ago. He was in his prime. He's not as good as he used to be.
Can I just say something? You know what everyone here is saying? Look at what everyone here is saying. All of these top guys, all of these strikers that we're all talking about, they're either too expensive. They're either injury prone and stuff like that. Like the upper echelon of you trying to get
poor.
The
market's poor.
Prospects. Either you have you bring in prospects or you bring in someone up there at the top right now. Then you obviously go to let's say the left winger market, right? So that's probably probably one of the harder ones to find, to be honest, because there's not that many great ones that you can probably out there.
No.
Chill out.
Let's not do that. Let's not do that.
Let's not do that. Yeah, but again,
it's that bad.
Yeah.
Well, what are the options in the left wing? What
if
do
you
you
give
have
us
out there?
Obviously.
We got Cole Palmer. He left.
He's a right winger.
Madison was available.
Yeah, but barring literally like a Leao,
Madison's a 10.
A Leao or a Kvaratskhelia in the market.
Okay, Mitrovic. Would anyone have entertained?
Ahmed, by the way, Kvaratskhelia, who hasn't scored a goal since March.
Listen. I'm just saying, for argument's sake, for everyone, because I know people are wanting either Kvaratskhelia or Leao, right? They're going to cost you well over 100 million plus. Plus. All right, that's in the left wing market. The right wing market, we don't necessarily need because we already got Sterling there, and now we've got Madueke there. To be honest, I don't know if you want to add any more extra on top of what you've already got there, because. Yeah, and Palmer. So you're overloading that situation. You've already got in
Chilwell
now for that. Yeah, and you've already got in Cuckoo in that market. Yeah, in the 10 role, right? And you've then got Chukwuemeka that's playing there, and he's actually been not too bad as well as a backup there too, right? So this is the problem what I'm trying to make. There's just the market for you to get these upper echelon players. Yeah, is either too expensive for you, or you've only got to deal with prospects, and that's the sort of reality we've got to face. It's just
what about Matoma?
Mitoma
It cost an arm and a leg.
You want? Wait, hold on.
Yeah, it would have cost. I know it would cost. It would cost so much.
Right in the game. You want
Can I just talk about
Yeah,
that?
I know. No, I'm joking, but he's a good player though. He's a good player though.
No, he's a good player. But the thing is, right, this is what we're trying to do though. Like, besides the Mudryk thing, you know, look at Mitoma. He was bought from Japan for like 4 million. And he's now great. That's what we should be trying to do.
Yeah, we should be scouting like that.
We have done
The error we made is that we spent 60 million on a 22-year-old left winger that doesn't look like he's ever kicked a ball in his life. That's the error.
Yeah.
We should have gone cheaper and, you know...
I don't actually mind like a sign like Gusto or Badiashile, even Jackson for like 30 million or less, because I think those could be like potentially like worth more in the future. Like,
well, two of them are great already.
Yes, it's sounding like Mudryk and maybe like even sign another left back for 50+ million. Like I'm not really like a fan of, but yeah, like signing players for 30 million, I think is like classed as a bargain if they turn out great anyway. I know it's like 30 million, but that's like a normal not standard, but that's like a cheap player for a big club. If a big club comes to it, say we went from Mitoma, right, to Japan, would he cost Chelsea 4 million? I think he would cost like 20 million.
No,
if we got him,
I think we would have got him for around that 4 or 5 million. He wasn't really known back then.
Yeah,
why not?
So he was playing at college. Mitoma was playing at college, by the way, guys.
I mean, how expensive is the average like J League outgoing?
Yes.
Yeah, it's not really that pricey.
I was gonna say, like, I don't think Gusto would cost 20. Even though Gusto's looking like a massive like bargain for 20 million, I don't think Gusto would cost Brighton for 20 million if they went for. I think it would have cost like at least like 10 million, like tops. I think.
No. Gusto is known. The problem with
Gusto was one of the most highly rated right backs in the world football.
For his age.
Yeah, United was even after him at one point. So like that's the thing with Gusto. Like the price we got him for is actually like a bargain if you think about it. In hindsight. But that's the point I'm trying to make, guys. It's a lot. The guys you're looking for that we want to bring in, like top class, world class players that we think can start straight away, can do what we want us to do. The price is too steep right now in this market. Like it's gonna cost us a hand. Like when you're trying to fix a midfield of Caicedo, and then you've obviously bought Enzo in the January window previously, and now Alavia to complete that midfield. It's gonna, you know what I mean? How much more of the budget do you have left to realistically bring in?
You know what else is the problem is, Ahmed? They know that when we try to go into the market, right? They know that eventually we're gonna bend over backwards and give them the money.
Exactly,
that's what the reputation we're gonna do. Because like a lot of people like. I know that a lot of people are gonna cuss out Marina and stuff like that, but she, whether you liked her or not, she had a reputation. She had the reputation of like negotiating.
You've only done that with 2 players though. That was only Caicedo and Lavia.
Yeah, but this is the type of thing.
Enzo.
They know Brighton know that we're gonna.
You're developing a pattern, bro. I think that's what you're trying to say. You got. I'm trying.
There's a pattern right there. Whenever we go for big targets, we always go from.
Ugarte our top target, and we backed out of him too.
We didn't want to pay. We didn't want to pay his wages. Remember, he wanted some ridiculous wages, and we thought, why are we going to pay?
PSG. What happened was PSG came in at the last minute and they offered like some crazy wages, and then we were
doubled his wage. Yeah.
And Ugarte was an opportunity. Was like an opportunity for us.
I would have preferred him over Caicedo, 150 million. I'm not gonna lie.
The plan was to get both him and Caicedo. That was the plan.
Yeah, that was the plan. Yeah.
But let's bring it back to Poch, right? Is the issue really who we have as a striker, or is the issue the tactics that's being played right now? Not even the tactics, really.
It's definitely
as much as we want to say, like, well, we could have gotten a left winger in Leao and Kvaratskhelia. We could have gone for like, Mitrovic or whoever the hell you want to say, Osimhen, whoever you say. At the end of the day, like, I think all of us watched preseason. We looked like we were cooking with this team. It's not like we don't have quality, like. Okay, say what you want about. Okay, sure, it's preseason, but regardless, say what you want about Mudryk and say what you want about Maatsen. These guys are doing well in the preseason. It looks like there was chemistry building. It looks like there was. You could say.
Yeah, they were doing okay. They were doing good, but you can't really say that until the Premier League starts, though. I get what you're saying, though. I do get what you mean, though.
Let me just say this. You could say you could take the preseason with a pinch of salt, but I think most of us on this panel who had a rational mind on their head, between their shoulders, could see what happened in preseason last season and could see the rest of the season turning out like that. And lo and behold, that is what happened. So I'm just saying, you could say preseason is whatever, fitness and all that stuff, but this is also the chance to get to see the quality in the players. I mean, if preseason it is what it is, and why are half of the fan base upset with the loan that we're giving out to Santos? Why
and a lot of people don't realize that preseasons make or break for certain players. Some players literally get sold because of preseason or never make it to the squad.
Mudryk coming into here, he was highly rated, but people aren't rating him.
I'm not gonna lie, Mudryk was like, that's a weird signing.
He wasn't.
He's an unknown Ukrainian. We bought for 60 million, 100 plus add-ons. That's crazy.
I would have had trust on him.
He wasn't known. Yeah, he wasn't going to be the next star.
Like no one was talking about this guy as like some next winger to be like the best in the world. Like that's a crazy signing.
Yeah.
I never heard of Mudryk until the Arsenal.
I didn't even know who he was.
No, exactly. If he would have spent like 30 million on like a, I don't know, like a Noddy on the left or something like that, yeah, that'd have been way better than like 60 million on Mudryk.
He took a big gamble.
I mean, that was realistically his market value. I remember I saw an article. Doing a bit of research on Mudryk, I saw there was an article last summer that Everton were in for him for about 30 million. And that would have been much better, like that kind of price.
Yeah, 30 mils, I would have been all right with that.
You know
what it is for me? You know what it is, yeah? I just think, with the Mudryk one is a weird one, innit? I'll definitely say that one for sure, for the price we brought him for in particular. But, I think for me, when it comes down to it, Poch needs to, start waking up and smell the coffee. That's pretty much all I can say to you right now.
Yeah, before it's too late for him.
Yeah.
So real quick,
I want to give him.
Bro, you know what my problem with Poch is?
Real quick, let me just read out. Well, there's not really much of a super chat here. I don't know if you meant to send this with a super chat, Miss Molina, but thank you so much. I appreciate it. Thank you for the $6.99 Canadian dollars.
You know my problem with Poch is? You know my problem with Poch is?
Chilwell left wing.
It's not just Chilwell left wing. I feel like I sit down and question this transfer window. Did he really want all of these guys? Because I feel like he's a yes man. Because this is who the board want. They want a yes man. They don't want to.
What manager says
no? Every manager says yes man.
There has been a few players that Poch has literally said no.
No.
What does a yes man mean to you, by the way? You can.
Define.
What do you? Come on, you should know what a yes man means.
No,
like,
but like,
he knows.
But define it in terms of define it in terms of the Bally relationship to Poch. Like, what's the yes man between them? Like, give us an example.
Like when he just says yes to what every the board wants. That's what I mean.
But surely
he says no also though, right?
Let me say something, right?
By the way, can I say something?
With the whole manager, guys, one moment, man. I was gonna actually reply to you.
Hassan and then Chris.
So sorry about this, right? No, but with the whole situation, right? Sorry to cut you off. I'm very sorry for that. Yeah, but what you're trying to say is what managers have. Managers will have especially when it comes to a business of football, they'll have. I'll give you an example, right? Like Thomas Tuchel, he wanted someone that could link up play and score a goal, be like an all-round striker, right? So Tuchel, like when he was with us, for example, had Haaland, Lukaku, Lewandowski as the three targets, right, before the whole Lewandowski went to Barcelona. But I was saying, let me finish my point, right? Yeah, but let me finish my point. He had the two options of them sort of alternatives, you would say. You'll have the main targets and alternative targets. The manager will have to say yes to one of them. That's how football and businesses work, in a sense. Like, I get what you're trying to say in terms of yes man to like certain degrees. Like if the players, like a certain nobody in sense, but all managers will have to say yes to some target that's within their profile, whether it be the main or a alternative in a sense, because that's how the football market works and that's how managers pick the players that they want. Like Klopp, I'm sure that Minamino was his first target, but he's definitely said yes to that. Like
someone said that Klopp is a yes man too, because Klopp and Brighton.
I'll just quickly. I'll give an example of the contrary. You gave an example there of like Klopp saying yes to something. I'll give you an example of Poch saying no to something this summer. João Felix. Club wanted him.
And another thing he said.
The club wanted to buy him, and Poch said no.
Yeah.
That's just one example.
He told Todd Bowley, you know what, you can't be in the dressing room like when I'm doing like my talks like I did last season. He told him no, basically, you don't go in the dressing room when I'm talking to my team. Like his town owners, like you can't do that. So he's not completely like yes. I think every manager is like a yes man anyway. By the way, like
Miss Molina chatted Malo Gusto and Cole Palmer. Dude, don't gossip Cole Palmer, please. Dude,
well,
no, yeah.
Why not?
He doesn't like a talent,
Dude,
but like.
Why not? Why not? Why can we gas him up?
Dude, I'm not gassing him up, man. Please, come on.
Let's just wait. I want him to.
Dude,
I want him to perform first. I haven't seen much of him.
No, you see the problem with this board is just because he freaking scored a wonder goal against Arsenal in the Community Shield, somehow you're freaking
the game I would go by,
and not other wingers. There were so many better wingers out there in the market.
Come on, man. You really think
No,
people on the board really think like that?
Name a few.
Honest, bro. Come on.
No, the board have sense. They've obviously looked at him for a while. Yeah, because they scout. We've got scouts, so obviously people are looking at him.
Someone said we could have gotten Musa Diaby. Dude,
yeah, that would have been a great.
Would have been better than Cole Palmer. Musa Diaby would have done
different players though. Different players, I'd say.
No, but they play on the same position.
We were looking for. We were looking for a particular profile though. Like, is Musa Diaby? Can he play the number 10 role? Because that's what we were looking for, like a hybrid.
You can't.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He doesn't play as a number 10. That's not really where he plays. But
we were looking for a white wing 10 hybrid.
Can play there, but Kudus can play 10. Kudus is the 10, right?
That's a different player, though, right?
Kudus wanted a release clause.
Yeah, that's the I heard.
And Kudus wants to play deep.
Yeah, I thought we could have got him.
To be fair, too, like,
he wants to play deep.
And also, to be fair, I've shown the tweet multiple times now. Like, we did try to hijack Kudos last minute, which, again, say what you want about transfer strategies. Each team has their own way of doing it. If Chelsea wanted to see what price was the one that was going to get Ajax to pull the trigger and release the guy, and they want to match it last minute to hijack it, then so be it. Like, that sometimes works. But with Kudos, he denied us.
But what happened
was...
Didn't we agree personal terms though? All we just had to do was sort out a structure, like a fee. But then we backed out for God knows what.
Yeah, but I don't think that was our target though. If you think about it, Poch would have got a list of names that he wanted, right? Let's just, for instance, say he got 5 players.
You're always welcome, Kurt.
Maybe Kudos was the 5th player, so he might have wanted to get Shirky. Then we looked at Shirky and thought, nah, we don't really want him because of his attitude. Then we looked at someone else.
The target, guys, was Olise.
No, but he also had a goalkeeper on his list before he bought Sanchez. I don't know. Some source said he had Emi Martinez on his list.
Well, Magnan.
I think that was a lazy link.
I would have preferred Martinez over Sanchez.
Well, Magnan was on that list. Onana was on that list, but we saw how those deals...
Mignon was too expensive. Mignon is...
He doesn't want to join either.
That's why we didn't want
to join. Yeah, and he said no, didn't he? Yeah, he didn't want to join.
He doesn't want to join either.
The only other goalkeeper
is a relationship with Inter.
Onana wanted to have a reunion with Ten Hag.
The only other goalkeeper that was consistently linked to us is Mamardashvili from Valencia.
Valencia. Yeah.
Wait. I heard good things about that guy, but personally, bro, I would have wanted Emi Martinez. He would have been the better option.
Same.
I disagree.
I thought he would have been.
He would have easily been a 50-60 million pounds.
Probably.
You know,
yeah.
Just by being a Premier League transfer.
But he's better than Sanchez, right?
Well, yeah, but we're talking about the fact that one of the reasons Maignan couldn't happen was because of the money. Like, we don't know what sort of budget they were putting towards goalkeepers.
I was wondering what happened to that Leeds goalkeeper that used to play out from the back.
He doesn't want to be,
we don't want him. We don't want him. No one cares.
No
one cares.
He's crap.
Yeah.
Hassan, what are you on, bro? What are you on?
No. I think
Melia in big 2023.
I think Melia had potential, but it is what it is.
He had the potential, but I don't know what the hell happened to him. I don't know what the hell happened to him.
I don't think he's stagnated. I think Leeds.
Bro, Big Sam came in and dropped him because he's not a good goalkeeper.
Yeah, he's average. Like, he was never something special. Let's be honest. He was all right, but not for Chelsea, I don't think.
I mean, he's tall, but he's like David De Gea, where he just can't command his box. Like, he's like very fragile in the air, kind of thing.
Listen,
wait, casually, you know who else was on Poch's list?
Talk to me.
I think it was back in May. There was a report that said McAllister was on his list, but of course he went to Liverpool the next month.
I think a lot of those
true.
are just like lazy links at the beginning of his reign. Oh, he's Argentinian player.
Yeah, because
Poch is
they were saying
Argentinian.
Emmy, McAllister,
Yeah.
Lautaro,
We're linked with all of them.
Argentinian players. Yeah.
And that
Fair
McAllister
enough.
link, by the way, that McAllister link was also a carryover from Potter.
Argentine links.
True. I mean, I don't even know if McAllister would have been the right answer. I mean, I would have liked to have had
For like
both
the 10 position.
I don't. We had Nkunku. That's the thing.
I wouldn't have mind McAllister.
Wait, hold on. But Steven, hold on.
balled out.
It's
He
easy.
balled out.
It's easy for us to say like, yeah, we could have brought him in now as a 10 because now we know that Nkunku got an knee injury. But at the time, are we really gonna say like, oh, bring in McAllister, even though we have Nkunku? We're still contemplating if we're gonna keep João Felix in May, like,
Not
and then
really.
we have
Nah.
what you call it, Chucky in that position as well.
Chukwuemeka, nah. Yeah,
So
probably
like
not.
we're
That
not
would've been
thinking about McAllister then.
I was gonna say, right, knowing our look, there'd be some sort of deal clubs or tribunal 2.0, man. Because
Yeah.
you know about what happens with Chelsea, man. When we
And
try
that's the other thing too that I want to bring to the limelight here is also like, as much as we want to say like, oh, we should have signed this player and this player and this player, like a lot of it's hindsight. A lot of the things we got to consider, like Cole Palmer, for example, right? A lot of things you have to consider with Cole Palmer specifically is that, okay, maybe as a signing, maybe there's better options, whatever you want to say. But you also have to take into consideration is when it comes to these signings, you have players that are injured that are going to come back and retain those positions or compete for those positions. It's not like Cole Palmer is going to be the out and out number 10. You have Carney Chukwuemeka, who might possibly come back when international break is over. You have Nkunku, who's going to come back in January, hopefully at 100% fitness and all that stuff. Like, so it's not like Cole Palmer is going to be the signing that's, oh, this is our solution. This is the guy. Like, we have the experience number 10 left winger in our team. He's just currently injured.
But wasn't that the reason Cole Palmer signed for us? Because he wasn't getting games with Man City. So he thought, and we promised him that we're going to play him. So I feel like
Cole Palmer,
it's
Palmer,
not that.
I think
It's a bit of Pep being a bit of an ass when it comes to like picking players.
I get where you guys are coming from with the inexperience or he's not proven and all that stuff. I am personally of the belief that like Man City doesn't sign chumps. Like
no,
they have good players, and Pep held on to Cole Palmer for as long as he did for a reason. There is a talented player there, and I can bring up the stats from the last game. He had a brilliant appearance when he came on. He was one of the few glimmers of good football that we had in that game against Nottingham Forest. Okay, disregard that, right? He can play at right wing and he can play as a 10. He's versatile in that aspect. If things don't work out with the left wing with Mudryk or whatever, you slot him into the right wing. If Madueke gets hurt, you slot him into the right wing. We have depth in the 10 now. If Nkunku comes back or he gets injured again, or if Chucky gets injured again, you never know. Or you also never know what's going to happen in January. Carney Chukwuemeka could leave. Carney Chukwuemeka could go on a loan. He could get sold. You never know. There were rumors that he might not stay, he might not go. Who knows? So I think with the Cole Palmer situation too, like, let's not overreact as well. I know he's not the guy, the proven guy, but why would you get a proven guy when you have Sterling on the right wing who's working out? You have Madueke, who, despite what you may think of his past in PSV, last season he was cooking. He was cooking for us under Lampard. He was one of the few guys cooking for us. Not the most impressive, but he was doing all right.
In our worst season ever.
I mean, cooking in last
I'd say
season's
all right.
context, but
like I get what you mean, but I just feel like when Nkunku comes back, right, he can play as the number 10, but he can also play on the left as well. So we don't know if he's just going to solely be as the number 10. He could also be as the left wing. So that's a good option. And then
go on.
If
we had Nkunku,
Chelsea,
nobody would moan about effing Madison and Subside day in and day out.
You know what it is, Chelsea for life. If you play Nkunku on the left, you can play Palmer on the 10 if you want to, and then you can at least have
you can mix and match. Yeah,
exactly. So for me, again, and I don't think I know that a lot of the time. I think obviously when it comes down to losing, we always look at the players and also the manager. Obviously, the players that we have right now, these guys are going to need time, whether we like to admit or not. fresh new attack, everything like that.
Yeah,
but at the same time, what we do need though definitely is that the manager needs to realize that some of the stuff that he needs to put in, he can have the same formation, but remove the players that are not working. So for me, Chilwell left wing is not working. Either put him back in that left back position, or if you want to play with these 3 centre backs, just put him on the bench. Get someone else to play that left wing role. You now have Sterling that can play there. Play Madueke on the right, or if you want to, because Madueke is left-footed and you may want him to be a bit more of a assister, play him on that left-hand side and you make him use his left foot to put in those crosses, or like beat a man to the byline and put the cross in via there too. So he has options now because Madueke is not fully fit. Because at least you could say for the last 3 games, Madueke is not fit or something like that. But now there's no excuses anymore.
I will say right.
To me, is one of the young signings that makes complete sense. I believe.
Guys, we got a designated reader in our panel.
Yeah, nice one. I was gonna say,
I
right.
highly advise Chelsea fans not please, come on, please don't gas the guy up. Let's just.
I think I don't want to gas him up, but at the same time, I'm not trying to put him down either.
I'll give him a chance.
Yeah, I have no expectations until we see him. Just give him time. Give him time. Just like any player we've got to give them time. We can't be very impatient because these guys are 21, 20 years old, 22. So you're gonna have to see what they can do before we start slating them. There's no point.
It's all fun and games.
I'm just gonna say is, if Jackson, Palmer, and Sanchez prove me wrong, then okay, fine. I'll put my hands up in the air and I'll surrender. I was wrong, so I'll for now hold my negativity back and just because people because I've been airing up my frustration ever since that Nottingham Forest defeat. Chelsea fans have been crucifying me, so let me just hold my negativity back. Maybe I'm being a bit too negative.
That's all we can do, right?
You don't have to crawl into that Twitter hole, man. There's always a hand in Casually FC to pull you back out.
Thank you.
No, but as we were saying about Poch as well, right? Sorry to interrupt. I feel like Poch just needs to go back to basics. We've seen in pre-season he was doing the 4-2-3-1. Not to say we're not playing that, but as you said, put Chilwell as left back. We need 2 centre backs. We don't need 3 centre backs. We don't need to set up so defensively. We played Luton Town and we've got 3 centre backs. Why do we need that? We played Nottingham Forest. To me, that's very defensive. Now, if that was Potter or Lampard, everyone's going to slate him. But because it's Poch, he's basically setting up kind of similar to what we do. I know we're playing a back 4, but why is Chilwell playing left wing? I'm gonna go
over this again. I've mentioned this on Ahmed's channel, The Bridge. By the way, if you haven't subscribed, please do.
I'll try.
Playing 3 centre backs in a back 4, or playing more than 2 centre backs in a back 4. That is not a problem. This Man City team that just won a treble, they played 4 centre backs in their back 4. But why were they able to play such great attacking football? Because they had attackers up the pitch. The negative part is not playing 3 centre backs in the back 4. The negative part is playing a left back at left wing. That is the negative part. We can get away with playing 3 centre backs in the back 4. That's how City have been doing it.
Yeah, but why do we have to do that though? Yeah, but why do we don't need to copy City. Let's just do us. Let's not think. That's what I don't like. I thought Poch was going to be one of them guys that will have his own philosophy and just go for it. Whereas in pre-season, we wasn't doing that.
But the thing is, when you say you do your own thing, right? A lot of teams now are essentially attack with a 3
Yeah, but did we do that in pre-season? We didn't do that once.
No,
we did. 45 minutes in one game, we did.
Now, hang on a sec. We did do that. The difference was we didn't start with 3 centre backs. What we did, we started with a back 4. A lot of the time, what it was,
transition to a 3.
What it was a lot of the time, we'd have Chilwell and Gusto as left back and right back, respectively. And what we do is, Chilwell bombs on, Gusto tucks in as a centre back, and you have your back 3, and Chilwell was high. So you don't. It's just a different way of doing it, basically. Like Cole.
Yeah, I just feel like it doesn't suit us. I get what you're saying, and that's what we were doing. But it doesn't. It's not natural. It doesn't seem natural for us to play that way. Don't get me wrong. We could play 2 centre backs and 2 full backs and still lose the game. I'm not saying just because we change the personnel it's gonna work, but I just feel like it's gonna be more fluid and we'll probably see a better left-hand side. Because look at our left-hand side; it's non-existent. You've got Colwell and Chilwell, and nothing goes down that side. So it makes us so predictable.
But like I said,
everything down the right-hand side.
But like I said, we've got a left back playing on the left wing. I think you can get away with Colwell playing as a left back, tucking in as a left centre back. He's got the passing range. You just have to put the winger on that side, and I'm sure it'll be a lot better. Yeah. You need a winger there that's got a better ball retention, not a 44% pass accuracy like we saw against Nottingham Forest. I'm sure we'll do a lot better with that. But the negative part,
left wing. You know what I mean?
Anyone but Chilwell.
But can you see Colwell overlapping or underlapping? I can't see. But as good as he is, I can't see him.
He doesn't
need
to.
He doesn't need to. I knew you were going to say that. But then that just makes us a one-trick pony. So basically, if you're a team going up against us, and I know that Colwell can't do any of that, all I need to do is just stick on. It's just too predictable. So I want my left back to be able to go down the wings, down the byline sometimes. I don't just want my winger to always keep doing that.
But there are different ways to do it, though. I mean, look at Arsenal last season. As much as you want to banter them and say, "Oh, they bottled it," they were pretty damn good last season. And look at their setup. They didn't have any overlapping fullbacks. They had their wingers playing wide. Zinchenko would invert into the midfield. Ben White would tuck in as a right centre back. There's no overlaps there, but because they have the quality on the wing, because they're not playing a left back, they're not playing Kieran Tierney on the wing instead of Martinelli. So they play good football. That's the difference.
But look how long it took them to get to that point, though. Sorry,
It does take a while. Obviously, there is a little bit.
It took Arsenal a while to get to where they was, right?
And clicking it. But I mean, we'll get back to this discussion. But just real quick before we continue on, 65 of you, almost 70 of you watching. Make sure if you haven't done so already, smash up the like button and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so. There is a link for you to join this StreamYard and this discussion if you would like. It's at the top, pinned to the chat, and also I'll put it in the link again. Also, Minerals FC. I mean, you just came in and you requested to land the minerals. So
minerals,
if you want to land your minerals, man, go ahead. The False Minerals FC in the house, baby. Let's go. Don't burn anything down. I'll be right back.
I don't need to burn the bridges, but let's have that right. Poch needs time. Some of the lots in the fan base I saw, they're all being agenda merchants on him. He's trying to figure out the system. And the back three at the moment, he's trying to do that because, the problem is your attackers can't finish the dinner, like Jackson and all that. So, when you miss chances, I guess West Ham punished you in the other end. He's probably doing that for you guys to be more shrewd defensively. And as for the Chilwell at left wing, that's ludicrous. You know what I mean? You should bring back Sterling at the left wing because that's his best position and that's where he scores the most goals. Look at him for Man City, and you guys need to buy a right winger because Madueke ain't good enough. Let's have that right, and he ain't got the minerals, and man.
I was going to say Sterling played really well for Man City on the right side too. By the way,
he played well for us when he was fully attacking and not playing as a left wing back or the Trossard role under Potter. I think we killed him. I think we killed him off by playing him as a wing back, and we played him. I mean, you can't really do it when you have Havertz, Mount, and other players that literally gave up.
Hassan, he literally
gave up the season.
Hassan, he literally said it himself in what's it? I can't remember who did the interview with. He was literally saying, "I had a conversation with Poch. I'm playing too deep." But that's the thing.
I've seen that. You literally kill off Sterling.
In the Trossard role, he was playing way too deep. He had to pick up the ball with his back to goal, and it was horrible.
Yeah, that's not his game. Yeah.
His game's where you put him up front, make him run in behind, and that's when he's dangerous. That's where he starts scoring 25, 30 goals a season.
He was playing left wing for Spurs. You know what I mean?
I get the whole system and I get the whole time thing, but at Chelsea and with the situation we're in, quite literally, you're 5 or 6 bad games away from getting sacked.
Problem
Chelsea.
Especially
with how much money we spent and stuff like that. We can't keep going.
You say
a season without top 4 or some sort of European qualification.
You say give time though, and I hear that. There does need to be some time given, but at the same time, You've had time in pre-season, and you threw that all in the bin once you got 2 injuries.
Literally.
You're playing 1 game a week. Figure it out. I hear people saying, I hear people saying, "Oh, thank God we got the international break. He can finally figure it out." No. We were
None of these
literally
players are going to be with him anyway.
None of them are going to be with him. But also, you've got the time between games, which is we want to consider that right now as a luxury because we don't want to be back here. We need to take advantage of this because we want to be back in Europe ASAP. So there's no excuses. As much as we say give time, you've got the time now. Use it.
I have a strong feeling since he brought Cole Palmer in, like Cole Palmer or someone, Cole Palmer and Mudryk come back from injury, we'll start to see more attackers playing, hopefully, because like playing with 8 defensive-minded players against Nottingham Forest, I don't think Pochettino would want to do that because he's an attacking coach, he's an attacking manager, like he does like attacking. So
why has he done that? He can't be that attacking if he's you can't be an attacking manager if you're doing that.
Right.
You can't
with
be.
Nottingham Forest, like Mudryk did come back from an injury, so I didn't expect him to start. And Cole Palmer.
What was his injury?
I don't know, something in training.
He got injured after the West Ham game, I think. It was in training. I don't know what it was.
It was a little knock, yes. But then you had Cole Palmer. We just signed Cole Palmer, so I didn't expect him to see him start. The only one I expected but Navy doesn't trust him, is Madueke. Madueke's the only player like I felt like you could have started that game. We could have went with 3 attackers.
Did Madueke score against Wimbledon?
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, penalty.
Oh,
right.
Yeah.
Okay. So I thought he would have hopefully he gets a start or something. Obviously he's got a lot to prove, but if you're scoring a goal, that's showing something at least.
The only argument I can have for not starting him is the only argument is you don't tamper with Sterling on the left, but then you don't tamper with him on the right. But then you've got a left back at the left wing, so then that argument is null and void because go and play your attackers in attacking positions.
Exactly.
Yeah. I was gonna say like there's no way after the first 3 or 4 games that we drop Sterling. He's been our most dangerous attacker, and
we can't.
Hassan, it's not about dropping him though. It's about tampering with him and moving him positions. That's another thing you said in the interview. I played too many positions last season. You know, we need to build some.
I think we'd get away with Sterling on the left, but because he's been so good on the right, we're not touching him at all. So
I'd rather leave him there because he does look more dangerous.
Yeah,
he looks so dangerous on the. There's no point in moving him because it's a different. If you're playing on the left wing and the right, it's different. It's different. It's not the complete same.
Yeah, it's completely different.
Yeah, so I feel like right now he's comfortable. Just leave him there, but at least play someone on left. We can't keep seeing Chilwell playing left wing. It's just ridiculous.
I mean,
I can't lie to you guys. You know those comments that he made? They're not giving me confidence, man. I don't know if you read the Chilwell comments.
I saw that. I saw that. He's definitely going to play Chilwell there again. I can see
Here's the thing. I'm willing to, and George, what you're saying in the chat is absolutely true. But the thing is, I'm willing to give him time if he actually wins the games he's supposed to be winning. Nottingham Forest, that was supposed to be a win. West Ham, that should have been a win. Luton Town, that should have been a win. Liverpool draw or a loss, fine, that's fine. But you need to be winning these games because come if you're losing, if you're not winning games, and then you go into the October fixture, or is it October or is it November? You go into the November fixtures, October, November, where you have Brighton, Arsenal. Yeah, end of October fixture, you have United.
It's even
all
harder.
Tough games. It gets even harder. You get losses on top of those. If you're going into those with wins, then okay, maybe we get a loss, maybe we get some draws here and there against those big teams, but it's okay because we have youth. We have a manager that needs time to get these guys going up to speed to what the Chelsea model is. Like, as long as you're buying yourself time when you're winning these games. Last season with Potter, we just kept losing. We were barely drawing. We just kept losing and losing against every team.
Under the
and then Lampard came in and done the same thing. Of course.
Yeah.
Just on last season. Just on last season quickly. I think this is one of the reasons why we're so like this. We just had last season. I can't lie. That Nottingham Forest game, that stunk of last season. Just the way,
which is crazy.
Just the way our heads dropped and we just started hoofing the ball into the box, you know, and even the West Ham game as well, especially a 10-man West Ham, and all we're doing is Malo Gusto crosses into the box. Oh no, you've got Kurt Zuma there eating it all up in the air. Like, are you stupid?
You just reminded me of one point as well, that one of, or I would say credit to Euro expert and stuff like that the people who actually watch Poch and analyze his game tactically, one of his main weaknesses, which I think I've addressed this in the previous calling show or something like that, was the failure to break down low blocks, or in terms of tactical sense. I think that's the main issue that has been at Chelsea for the last 5 years, which is why we haven't been really competing for the league, or we've been dropping off. I think it's.
Do you think that's an issue?
I think that's one of the biggest issues, probably the biggest.
But half the league play low block.
Yeah, exactly. So then that's like 50 points dropped. That's 50
so
points
why are we
dropped.
bring so do you think that's bad? Do you think the board haven't done their research then? Because if we're bringing a man that can't break down low blocks, then why did we bring him in?
What I think, yeah, go on, Hassan.
I think
Sorry.
the problem is, right, there's not many managers that are genuinely available. I think Poch I think they probably asked him that sort of question, and obviously the board's not stupid. They'll ask him what you do for rebuild, what you do halfway, what would you do in a situation where his hands are tied behind his back. They probably questioned him like you would get questions in the interview, what would you do in a pressure situation, stuff like that. I think it's a bit of element of there weren't many as good options, but he's probably their best profile in terms of manager, and he's probably the best profile in terms of youth management. So whether or not the questions will always be there for in terms of managers. Can they break down low blocks? Can they bring it over the line and win trophies at Chelsea? I think that'll be question marks for all managers, but the other managers such as Enrique, he's been out for club football for 6 years. Nagelsmann, you know how German managers are. They want their way, they want their power. So it's a bit, every manager has their cons and every manager has their pros, but in terms of youth management and the way that board divisions, I think Poch is the best fit. But the question marks will always be there for managers. Can they break down low blocks and can they bring it over the line to win trophies? So go on, sorry.
Go on. Yeah, I just want to add to Hassan's point. If you look at the market for managers right now, all of the top managers are basically settled in the teams that they're in right now. So for Chelsea, we're really looking at the best of. I don't know. I don't think it's the right. Essentially,
no. The free agent market.
No, I'm joking. It's not a bad bunch, but
we had like four. So we had Nagelsmann, we had Enrique, we had Potts, and we had Postecoglou. Yeah, those are the four really.
And I was going to add to that. There was literally a statement of Bowley saying we're not going to make the same mistake again. They don't want to pay 20-30 million to buy our manager only for him to flop. You understand what we're trying to say? They don't want to go through that hassle again.
And this
We've already done that with Potter, so. Yeah, but what the scary thing is, where we played Nottingham Forest, how can we look like we were playing last season when we've got a different team? That's, for me, that's scary. How can that be possible? We cleared out most of our players. We've got a few there, but in some cases we've looked as like we played last season. So it's like,
I think it's a major factor it's a major factor of bringing too many youth players in at the same time, as well as the whole gelling phase. But
maybe that
bringing in too many players is a double-edged sword, because I've always said this, and the way Marshall was saying it before, if we don't win our winnable games, Poch is 5-6 games away from getting sacked. I think we all agree with that, whether we like it or not.
It'll be under pressure. It will be under a lot of
I wouldn't say getting sacked, but it'd get real toxic for the match-going fans, and you know how our fans are like. We don't really
give Nottingham Forest the other day.
You know what they say, man? Old habits die hard. And I think for especially for these young guys, and the players that we've got now, you know, they're gonna lose their heads a lot quicker than right, because they're gonna be like, oh, it's time that we need to win this game. And like we saw just by the amount of crosses they were just trying to put into the box, but there was no one there. So like sometimes, and
we don't have that guy that can win headers.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying to you. But in their mind, they're trying to trying to create something out of nothing essentially, because they've lost their heads in it. They're not keeping their shit.
Yeah. They're not even looking if there is a man in the box to begin with.
And then I think for me,
that's when you lost your head.
And then the manager, for me, he needs to hold some level of smoke too, because like the substitutions that he's making at times, yeah, it's crazy. Like,
So
why
late.
are you doing this?
Late as well.
It's either it's too late, or it's like he's just foregoing, what's it called, structure, the whole structure of the team. You know,
Gung ho, just throwing everyone forward.
Like Oliver makes this funny point. Yeah, I remember because he was the one that was telling this to me. But he reminds, you know, like
Do you want me to say it? Do you want me to say it?
Go ahead, bro.
So you guys remember 3-3 West Brom under Lampard when Alonso went to the bus?
Yeah.
And
They didn't play again after that.
we were yeah. No, but it's not about Alonso. I'm just saying that's the game.
Oh,
But
okay.
And we're chasing. We're 3-2 down. We're chasing to equalise. And what does Lampard do? You know, you got Werner who's already on the pitch. He throws on Abraham and Giroud. Do they have a position? No. Just go and get us a goal. And it's just like
scattered everywhere.
Or didn't we play like a
it's proper
4-4
kitchen
and we
sink.
got piped?
It's just proper. It's proper, just like kitchen sink FC. No tactics whatsoever. It felt like
Try
that.
to get us a goal.
Yeah, just put attackers on the pitch and hope for the best.
See what happens.
Really.
Yeah. That's poor.
Anyway, carry on, Ahmed.
No, but yeah, but that's the point I'm trying to make. Like, they're just trying to. He's trying to just make something happen to get that goal in. But listen, you know, at the end of the day, guys, yeah, we have until essentially the end of October before we start hitting the big boys. Essentially, if you know what I mean. Yeah, you may have Brighton, the Carabao Cup. Let's not get adjusted. But when it comes down to it for Chelsea, Pochettino, for me, get your tactics right. Play these wingers are wide wingers. You know what I'm saying? I know that me and Cal were debating what an inside forward is. An inside forward, these guys don't just play like inside forwards. They also go to the byline too. So they drift. Yeah, so they do two different things. So that they're not just inside forwards. They do more than just that, in my opinion. But when it comes to those guys, need to stay wide. You need to, and because me and Oliver discussed this actually in my channel yesterday when we discussed what the problem was. These guys also need to invert. Like our actual fullbacks need to be inverted, and like he was doing this in preseason, like where he was making Gusto invert into the midfield, Reece James invert into the midfield, and then he was Chilwell couldn't necessarily do it. So
no, the thing is, Ahmed, I've been thinking about this. He even found a way around it with Chilwell, because I know we've been saying he can't invert, but and that wasn't the solution. But what he did is he put Maatsen on the left wing, and Maatsen would tuck in as almost like an inside forward, which vacates the wing space for Chilwell. So he even found a way for that in pre-season. But like I said, he threw it all in the bin because of 2 injuries.
But that's what I'm saying to you, Chelsea, and everyone here. That's we can if we do all of this sort of thing. You're helping these guys develop, whether we like it or not. He's given them also like the ideal, you know, what's it called, the environment to do what they can do, you know, their skill sets to the best of their ability. So like for me, that's what the issue is for me. That's all it is. If he can solve some of this stuff, yeah, and as long as the players play to the level that they can play at, it's not an issue. None of this conversation we'll be having for the next 2 weeks will be happening. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, he just needs to go back to basics, I feel.
Yeah, like no one would be discussing we need to pay 125 million, 130, 140 million for Kvaratskhelia, Osimhen, whoever that may be. We don't need to be discussing that straight away. Do you get what I'm saying to you? That's all it is. Like,
yeah, but Osimhen doesn't help the fact that you've got Chilwell and Mudryk that want to be in the same area.
Exactly.
Doesn't affect it at all.
Yeah, we're still going to have that. We could have Osimhen up front, but still have those problems.
We could even have Liao, on the left wing. But if he's playing next to Chilwell, like, we're not going to expect the same thing, isn't it? It's going to be still the same thing. We can put in the best players in the world into this position, but as long as we have some of the same issues, it's not going to get sorted out. That's the thing that people need to realize. Like, as the system is working, it will bring out the best out of the players that we have. That's all it is. And
that's why.
Mm-hmm.
This is where I come back to what I was saying earlier, though. I think. Do you guys think that to rectify this issue with what you were mentioning earlier, which was the low block issue that Chelsea seems to have always had, because I want you guys to notice something. Ever since we've lost Nkunku and Carney to a certain extent, we haven't had a counterattack. That not having that 10, I think, allows the other players, the other team, to organize their defense. It's
not just that, though, Marshall.
But no, I'm just saying, like, now that we have Cole Palmer, we'll give him time. Let's see what happens and see how he proves himself. Is it possible that maybe having that 10 position back for Pochettino rectifies that situation?
The problem I have with that point is that we have Enzo Fernandez in the team who has, deep line playmaker capabilities, he should be able to play those balls over the top.
And he's the only creative
Yes,
we
but
have.
the thing is, though, when it does come to the counter attack,
quick 1-2.
Yeah.
when it comes to the counter attack, right? Enzo's literally now box when it comes to the corner. There's no one. There's no like actual 10 that's next to the striker. Literally, Enzo would have to ping the ball long, which we have seen, to Nicholas Jackson, who's probably getting pushed off or bullied.
That's fine.
You know what it is, Hassan?
Oliver, wait, real quick. Okay. Oliver, to go back to your point, Enzo could be the creative guy that does the passes, but when I'm saying the number 10 and the counterattack, what Carney was doing with, I'm losing track of my thought.
Jackson.
What Carney was doing with Jackson, thank you, and Raheem Sterling, and even Maatsen. What Nkunku was doing with Jackson, Maatsen, and Sterling, they were running up the pitch together. They were doing
Linking
1-2s, linking up the pitch. We're not going to get that from Enzo. Like, Enzo's not that quick to be doing that stuff. He's not going to join you in the attack and all that stuff. He's going to give you the pass over the top, and then you're on your own. But he's not going to be up there with you and like, oh, give it to me. Okay, run up. Okay, pass it through. He's not that guy.
Yeah, I guess
I think we're missing that.
I guess the point there is that we lose a bit of variety in the way we can counterattack. It's always going to be a ball over the top, whereas with those Carneys and Nkunkus, you can do a bit more combination play and quick
to be fair, those passes that you're talking about with Enzo were there for the Nottingham Forest match, but what happened? The goalkeeper got to them every time. Turner got to those balls early every time. He dealt with those situations.
And then what link up can you have with Chilwell on the left wing? You ain't going to get no link up with anybody with Chilwell. Who's he going to do 1-2?
We all saw the pass, Matt. You know, there was no link up to begin with.
That's the thing. Like you guys were saying earlier about like Pochettino, Ange was in the market and all this and that. Like even if we got Ange, even if we got Nagelsmann, even if we got Enrique, when you're missing that pivotal part of your number 10, then we'd be sitting here saying the same thing. Like, well, Poch was in the market.
Do you know?
Well,
do you
this
know
guy was in the market. Talk to me.
You were talking about counterattacks and like how come like our starter plays not sped up. I was speaking about this even. I was thinking about this, speaking about this a lot. And you know what it's come down to for me? It's the speed of play. You're a musician, yeah. You know, like for example, like the slow pace of music. Yeah? You know when you play music really, really slow. I always forget what the word is for because like I used to know those words.
The tempo.
Yeah,
tempo.
But the tempo of play that we play at when we're trying to bring the ball out from the keeper, for example, is very slow. Like when it goes to our centre backs, very slow sideways passes. The guys will do little pressing, pass out there, different out. But there's no bang, 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 bang. You get what I'm saying?
No urgency.
No urgency, no speed of pass. Like you look at, like I was speaking about this. Look at Arsenal's what's it called? Go against United for the equaliser. What was the thing that like, allowed them to beat that team? Quick passing. Like the team's not quick passing at all. And like the reality is, I love Thiago Silva. Defensively, I still.
I was about to say, let's go into this.
But the reality for me, the pace that he plays at for us, is not fast enough right now. It's not fast enough. Like that's me being respectful to Thiago Silva, the legend and the player that he is.
Yes. I was going to bring up, and obviously, if anyone wants to join, you're welcome to join in the conversation. I'm going to put the StreamYard link in one more time. This is probably the final conversation we're going to have before we end the show. Okay. Obviously, there's been a lot of scrutiny within the Chelsea fan base about Thiago Silva's role in this team. People saying, how can you disrespect Thiago Silva? He's not at fault for the loss of Nottingham Forest. All this and that. People over conflating whatever it is that has to do with Thiago Silva, right? Now, if the case is that the reason we're playing 3 center backs is to compensate for Thiago Silva or to make Thiago Silva work in this formation, then do you drop Thiago Silva? Do you think that it's wrong that we're maybe overestimating Thiago Silva, what he can do in the back 4 with just another CB instead of a second one? Like, where does this conversation go with, like, do you think the one of the core issues is Thiago Silva having to have a 3 center backs and not just a 2?
You know what it is, Marshall? It's a very simple thing for me. you know, at the beginning of the season, before in preseason, in the transfer window, I said if this is Thiago Silva's last season, we need to be phasing the guy out, in my opinion, respectfully. And for me, that was but once Badiashile came back. Now, Badiashile is going to be back for the Bournemouth game, but I don't want him to be rushed into the game straight away. He needs obviously some level of match sharpness. So once obviously that after that Bournemouth game, I'm bringing him into the starting lineup to be alongside Levi Colwill and to play against his former teammate Disasi. And then we can bench Thiago Silva and we can actually play the centre backs we're going to be playing for the future. We need to start doing it now, man. There's no point yet of just let's bring in Thiago Silva to hold down the fort until the end of the season. No. We need to play these guys now, and at least we can have Thiago Silva that to shepherd them in moments that they maybe can bring him on at moments where he needs to be shepherded in.
Do you think that part of the reason Thiago Silva's been playing with the back three is because of Badiashile? Because I feel like last season, and listen, take last season with a grain of salt, but one factor is that we didn't concede that many goals. Up until the Frank Lampard time, we weren't conceding that many goals. Do you think that if Badiashile comes back, then maybe we can actually play a back four with Badiashile and Thiago Silva as the partnership?
Mm-hmm.
So
I'm inclined to think that.
So what's your point there? So what's the point there? Are you saying that Colwill can't do that? I'm not trying to, like, you know, this isn't me like defending Colwill or anything. I'm just asking the question.
I think there's a possibility that Colwill still has a few holes in his game to be able to solidify a spot and be confident in that left center back position. I think we've seen also with Badiashile how calm and collected he can be. Listen, I'm not trying to bash Colwill. I think he's a fantastic player. I just haven't seen the same wow factor from him that I've seen from Badiashile.
I agree.
Like, when he came into this team, the amount of calmness he's had and how like level-headed he is, and just when he gets the ball, I'm like, okay, we're okay. You know, like I haven't.
Yeah, he calms us down. He relaxes the back. Yeah, that's true.
And it could be because Colwell's still young, right? He's still developing as a center back. And it's good that we have Thiago Silva to like nurture the kid. But I think with him in the back with just Thiago Silva, it's exactly that. It's almost like, listen, this isn't Brighton. This is Chelsea. We're going to get attacked differently than how we're attacked in Brighton. And also we're set up differently than in Brighton. So he still has to babysit him in a sense. Not to like insult Colwill, but it does feel that way to me.
I don't know, but again, go ahead, Chelsea. Like, it's all right, bro.
Yeah, no, I'm just gonna say, like, if you look at our centre backs, right, I still think Silva is our best centre back. Like, when I've looked at our 4 games, I know he's made a few little errors here and there, but I don't feel like it's been that big where we're like, we need to get him out right now. But I get some fans think that, and which is fair enough. But I look at the back 4 and I'm thinking it all looks shaky still. Like the 3 centre backs, Disasi, he looks okay. He doesn't look great. Thiago Silva, fair enough. And then Colwill, they all kind of look shaky. There's not one of those 3 that I've say that, they all kind of look shaky. So when everyone pinpoints Thiago Silva, I feel like it's a bit harsh. But because I still think he's our best defender. But let's see how we play without having Thiago Silva. Then we can make more of a better judgment.
That's the other thing too about Badiashile is that he does have the ability to distribute the ball as well. Like we've seen him do some fantastic passes. And to address this comment, Duvan, before you go, Hassan, I didn't mean to interrupt you. Like I'm not saying this is gonna fix the attack, but at least with one less center back in our lineup, we can have room to put in another attacker.
I actually don't think it matters. I necessarily don't think it matters whether or not.
No, not me.
And I'll explain to you. And I'll explain to you. Levi Cole was actually played as a left back for Huddersfield in the Championship two seasons before he went to Brighton. So not the Brighton season, but the season before. And he was playing that to a very good rate. At the end of the day, Man City, for example, I've been playing Ake, someone that can play also in that position similarly. Sure. So for me, the Levi Cole being there is for me not an issue. The problem though, and I heard Tosi Palai's point, in regards to Thiago Silva and saying that I do agree defensively he's probably the best, but for me right now this guy's not going to be here next season. It's time to actually phase him out and play the centre backs that you know are going to be here for the future, and at least they will actually play at the pace you need to. And CFC Divine was saying that this affects. I actually think it fixes the pace of the attack though. That the team's pace needs to be faster and our tempo must be faster. Thiago Silva, to an extent, is hampering that. If we're trying to be honest,
the issue you said about Chilwell at the left back is that even in this season so far, look, you can chalk it up to the fact that it's Ben Chilwell as his left wing partner. I rather have Chilwell. Listen. We've won games with Chilwell as left back. Chilwell was never this top-notch defending left back. Okay, he never was that guy. The thing is, like, what Chilwell does though, he gives you those overlapping runs, the underlapping.
Yeah,
runs.
it's more natural with Chilwell.
He gives you the all-round game. Goal. He gives you the all-round game.
You say all.
I don't even know all-around game. He does give you the
not all-round game, but it's just natural.
Yeah, I'm not.
No, but he can't defend. He's not like Alonso, where the minute you get past him, your whole left side's gone.
Yeah, he was definitely better than Alonso when it comes to the defense. But again, like I don't know if I'm gonna get that from Chilwell at the left back.
Do you know what it is for me, Marshall? The reason why I say that is that if the man wants to continue this formation and he believes the free centre back stuff is gonna work out, right? For me, I don't mind Cole being there. But if he wants to go back to outro at number 4, play Chilwell, I would agree with you wholeheartedly. There's no doubt about that for me. Yeah, you get what I'm saying? I'm just saying, like, if you're gonna cater to his formation, right? Continues to play Levi forward, it's not bad. But Divan saying that I don't think that solely removing Silva fixes the tempo, but I think for me it helps because he's the tempo starter. You know when someone starts the tempo in music, usually be like the drummer, for example, whenever they're in like a band or group. It'll be like the little bass, I always forgot they're called, but even though I'm a drummer myself, but like when you hit the small one,
you fraud.
Relax, big man.
But then
if you get what I'm trying to say, right? He's the one that.
No, I get you. He does start, and he does start the attacks. But then I've also seen Chilwell start the attacks on the left as well because he's got great distribution. I get what you're saying. So it's a bit of both, but. I feel like it's really hard to say, to be honest. Like, I just want to see how we play without Thiago Silva to see how we get on.
Yeah.
You know what else is the situation? What else does it help, right? And I'm not gonna lie to you, it's the shakiness of the centre backs, and as what Marshall was saying before with the whole body shield calmness and stuff like that when it comes to them defensive situations. We've seen it before. We've seen it the last 3 games. What the hell do our centre backs do? Someone like Antonio who's big and who can actually bully you. they literally go and get baited. They go in. You have players like Disasi. Like, I don't get it. Like, in my humble opinion, I'm sorry to say this, but I don't see Disasi as a big upgrade or an upgrade of Chalobah. But someone like him goes in for a tackle or does something like go shoulder to shoulder with the striker. He'll go lay flat on his ass and the striker's through on goal. It's happened with our other centre backs as well. I think the calmness or the approach of our centre backs when it comes to them attacking scenarios it doesn't help us one bit because it's gonna be scary when someone like an Ivan Toney, if he was through on our, or even a Mikel Antonio as a perfect example, if they go through on goal, I'm a bit scared when it comes to our defenders because they either do something daft or they go in and get bullied off the ball or bullied shoulder to shoulder.
Listen, I'm going to be fair to Disasi. This guy just came into the league. He was thrown into his first game like almost immediately as he came into the team. I think any reservations people have about Disasi is fair, but let's also be fair. It's his first season in the Premier League. He's still figuring out the league. Like, let's give the guy time. Like,
give him time.
I think it's fair to ask him to give him some time and see what happens. Like, really, like, okay. They've all had bozo moments, exactly, Duvan. But like the bozo moment that Disasi had was his first game at Chelsea. He barely had a week's worth of training, and he has it against Liverpool. So like,
I mean, you can even argue James has more to do with that as well, if you remember.
Yeah,
James didn't track the runner.
Yeah, so it's just one of those, like, we'll see what happens with Disasi. I'm not ready to, like,
write him off.
I'll be honest, with Disasi, I think a lot of people just watched that one bad game against West Ham,
of course,
and they made their mind up. And I think that's really unfair.
I understand your point, but I think they've also seen like my kind of view where it's that bozo moments in him where he just falls flat on the ground a few times. Sometimes gets shrugged off.
But Hassan, when did it happen outside of the West Ham game?
I think there was one in Nottingham and the one just.
Which one in Nottingham?
I think it was.
I don't remember it personally.
He didn't cost us the goal.
Oh, I think he did was when he went forward and then like they both tried to get the ball, then like he fell down and like
there was a few times, but of course I will give him the benefit of the doubt, but.
That's just the league, though. You're going to get physical players. Yeah. Like, you're going to get a lot of strikers that are strong. So it can happen to anyone. I get what you mean, but it can actually happen to any centre-back. Let's be honest.
The thing is as well, like, look at Disasi. He is a physical beast. Like, at this point, he's just got to learn now how to anticipate these kind of like 1v1s and these challenges.
Yeah, exactly.
It's about anticipation, yeah.
And on top of it too, like, listen, let's not pretend like we want to forget so fast. Does anyone remember Thiago Silva's first game out of Chelsea?
Yep.
Come
on,
bro. He had one of the biggest bozo moments I've ever fucking seen, and he did it twice against the same team in that season.
Bro, West Brom is his daddy, man.
He got sent off in the second game, and the first game the ball went under his feet, and Pereira just fucking put it in their assholes, man.
How have we managed to bring that? Wait, how have we managed to bring that game up twice in this stream?
It's just like, I'm just trying to point out, like, even the best have their fucking bozo moments. Like, it is what it is.
Yeah.
Like, and you can say the same thing about the goalkeeper situation. Like, it is what it is. We'll see what happens. I'm willing to give it time. I've seen what Chalobah could do. We've had 2 seasons of Chalobah where we've seen how good he can be and how unstable, or not unstable, but inconsistent he can be. And so I think let's wait up on the Sassy. Let's not throw the baby out with the bathwater on him yet, just because he had one moment with Mikel Antonio. Mikel Antonio was like, "Welcome to the Premier League, mate." And
he does that to everyone, Antonio. Yeah. How many people has he done that to? If you watch West Ham in their last couple of games, he's been doing that to everybody.
Yeah, even last season, Antonio was killing
man. He's faced him once now. He's gonna face him anyway at home at the Bridge.
Mm-hmm.
Just make sure you now know how strong Antonio is. Got to make sure that you're just as strong as him.
Fix up. Exactly.
And he's not as slow as people say, because people were saying he's as slow as Maguire. He's not that slow.
People just look at the top speed thing.
No, he isn't.
Yeah, he's not that slow.
No.
He's an average. Yeah, he's okay, man. He's not that bad.
We'll see. We'll
I mean, I'll tell you what it is. People have gotten used to players like Van Dijk and Saliba as like the standard for centre back pace. No, that's not the standard. No, they're really fast. Well, at least Van Dijk before his injury, he was really fast.
Yeah, I agree.
But now people look at average and they think, oh, you're a fridge, or you turn like a truck.
Now, guys. Like, look at Van Dijk now, because of like he had that pace to help him back up now defensively. He's now out for 4 games again because of Isak. Because Isak literally had a bit of burst of pace, and because of like how he's essentially after that, is it the ACL? He had an ACL, right? If I'm not mistaken, right?
Yeah.
Something like that. It was something. Yeah. Now look, we can't react to the pace that he has before.
He hasn't got the recovery pace or the strides that he used to.
He shouldn't have went for that challenge. To be fair, I don't think he read the pass was really good into Isak. The pass beat him, and then he thought, "Oh, I can get him," and then it was too late. So he shouldn't have went in for the challenge.
Usually he would be. Usually he would have been strong enough and had the pace just to make sure that's taken care of. But now he can't.
I mean, I think we spoke about everything we could in this stream. I think, hey guys, we just gotta hope and pray that Poch fucking stops playing Chill on the left wing. Hopefully, Carney comes back soon and ready to play as well. We have yet to see what's happening with Broja as well. That's another thing I should put out there. Like, we don't know what could happen with the formation if you have a Broja available. Like, listen, you could say you don't
Do
care.
you think he'll be ready
but
though?
We,
No,
we
I
will
don't.
see.
I don't think
I
he's really-
don't
Yeah, I
know.
feel
Yeah, we
like he
will
needs a
see,
bit
but
more time.
I don't think so.
But I'm
personally.
just saying, you never know what having that second striker, which we don't have right now, we
Yeah.
only have Jackson. You never know what having that second striker could do to change that formation for Jackson or for the rest of our attack. So who knows? We've yet to see it, and we'll see what happens. But I'm just saying, like, for most Chelsea fans, like, I get it. I get where the impatience is coming from, the frustration. Obviously, we should be beating teams like Nottingham Forest with the team that we have, with the quality that we have. But I think at the end of the day, also, let's be a little patient. Let's see what happens in the next few games going into the tough run of fixtures that we have, the United, Arsenal, Brighton, all that stuff. But that being said, this has been the call-in show. Thank you, everyone, for coming in today and having your discussions. I think we had a very brilliant discussion with all the call-ins. Big up to Chelsea for life. Big up to everyone else that came in as well. But yeah, guys, we do this pretty much once a month in the beginning of the month. So the next one will be in the beginning of October. We'll be having a discussion of what's been happening with Chelsea in the previous month that we just watched them. We'll have a discussion about where we're at again. But big up to everyone. We're going to go ahead and raid Sarcasm City, who is on right now. So be sure to copy and paste that raid message over to his chat when you get over there. But as always, smash up the like buttons. If you haven't done so already, be sure to subscribe. We're on our way to 3K, so help us get there slowly but surely. I do appreciate all the support you guys have shown with the subscribe. 60% of you guys are watching, though, so be sure, if you are here regularly watching, just subscribe. It helps us out. Be sure to hit the bell notification so you don't miss out when we do stream. We will be doing another stream again this week, so hit that bell notification so you don't miss out when that is going to happen. Be sure to also check out the links in the description. Leave a comment down below. Let us know everything you thought about today's discussions. And before we end, I'm going to give out a shout out to the proper casuals and higher tiered members. That would be Winter Surfer, OG Turbo Jesus, Dark, Scott, Adrian, and our brand new proper casual member, Will. Big up to you guys for the support, and big up to everyone else who is also a Casually FC member. But on that note, guys, I'll see you over on Sarcasm City stream. We'll catch you again very soon. As always, stay casual and have a good night.